Is everybody in? Is everybody in? The ceremony is about to begin. Welcome to the Echo Chamber.
He's the man.
First guest, my very first guest, Nabil Leal. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me as your first guest.
Yeah, man. This has been something I've been wanting to do with the both of us for a long time. I think I've talked about it with you before, probably.
Yeah.
Doing this. But this is dope, dude. The first one. I'm excited.
This equipment is like out of this world. This is like some high-tech shit.
Yeah, we sound great, too.
Like, I don't think Rogan has a candle on this.
No, yeah, you guys should see what it looks like in here. It looks great.
But, dude, you with the rings, with the shirt, with the goatee, like, he looks like Santana at 1969 Woodstock.
Hey, Soul Sacrifice.
Yeah.
Hell
like
yeah.
You're about to play me a session right now.
Hell yeah.
It's a good look.
Speaking of music, what stuff are you listening to right now?
Dude, I was telling you that for a while I was getting kind of into Elton John because I put him off for like, I guess like my entire life. And I would hear him at parties or like on the radio, and you hear, I'm a rocket man. And you're like, oh, it's so overplayed. But then I just sat down yesterday to listen to Rocket Man on vinyl, and I just shut the fuck up. And I'm like, this is a great fucking record. And now I've played it like 26, 27 times.
Oh, yeah, dude.
iPod.
Rocket Man.
Yeah,
hey,
man.
we got the record right there, too.
And
Honky Chateau.
Mm-hmm. It was really good stuff. What's your favorite Elton John record?
Oh, man, there's this one called Yell Help. And it's like, it's kind of like two songs in one. It's like upbeat and kind of funky. It's like, yell help. What you gonna find to get you on?
Is it like a medley? Like one leads into another?
Yes, it is a medley.
Indoors.
Yeah, so the Yell Help, it has like another song, and then like right after it, it goes like real slow and intimate, but it's like an upbeat song that goes into a slow song, so it's like really cool. I like that one. I
want to check that one out. It reminds me of another song by Elton John, because the only Elton John that I ever got into was this record called Tumbleweed Connection, which has Amarina. And the reason why I got into that record is because Amarina is the song that opens Dog Day Afternoon.
Okay.
With Al Pacino.
Oh.
Lately, I've been thinking how much I miss my lady, Amarina, Silicon Field. That song.
Hell yeah. That sounds familiar.
Yeah. It's the opening of Dog Day Afternoon. And then, like, there's no other music used in that movie after that. Mm-hmm. And then I listened to that whole record. I think there's one song called By the River. But there's like a medley structure in a lot of those songs in Tumbleweed Connection. Yeah.
That sounds. I feel like I have that album. Maybe I should go over that one again.
That's good.
Speaking of movies, did you see what I sent you about Martin Scorsese's like second DP or second director that's coming to Brownsville to do like a speech?
Oh yes, I saw that.
Yeah.
Okay, you have to fill me in a little bit on that because I just saw the headline.
Yeah, it's I forgot the guy's name, but he was Ari Aster's mentor.
Okay.
And he was like assistant director to Scorsese in fucking what movie was it? I forgot the movie.
Director.
Yeah, something
big time.
Yeah, something like it was basically the right-hand man during one movie of Scorsese. I forgot which one, but it's going to be at the Brownsville UTRGV December 6th, I think. But I already RSVP'd the both of us, so
dude, thank you. I appreciate
so
that.
So if we end up going, because Brownsville's kind of far from us, but yeah, I had a feeling you definitely want to go, and it's free too.
Oh, so. It's free.
Yeah, it's free.
No se va. No se va. It's catchy. Speaking of catchy songs,
it is. Yeah. It is. My brother got me into those guys when I was living with him. I'd hear that a lot.
My
like
brother's
Grupo
been.
Frontera.
Yeah, Grupo Frontera. My brother's been getting into like corridos.
Oh, okay.
Like the new kind of corridos that's very like Peso Pluma.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like that. Because you've seen him at Guitar Center, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So he's like playing. He's like assistant musician to like a lot of these like corrido bands here in the valley.
Your brother?
Yeah, he's like been helping them like with lay down tracks, like guitar tracks,
like in studios and stuff.
Yes, sir.
Nice. Dang.
And I think one of his friends, Edgar Sebastian, maybe I don't think you know him, but yeah, like he has his own corridos group or his own like that kind of genre of music, and he helped them, like lay down some music, some instrumentals. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, and for people who don't know, who's your brother? Tell us about him.
Well, Tony is a annual. He always wins the best beard competition. He has this big Santa Claus
insane beard.
He runs Guitar Center, okay, on the one by ASTC here in McAllen, and he is like this enigma, I think, to everybody that I talk to in the music scene about him, and they're like, this is mysterious beard, like, is he like a shaman or what is he? Like, no, he's just my brother, dude. He's just cagalero like me, We just shoot the shit.
He plays great guitar too.
Thank you, dude.
Incredible guitar player,
and you're a really good vocalist.
Not as far as guitar, I'm not as good as your brother. Your brother's like, he's a shredder, like a shredder. I'm like a rhythm vibe kind of guitar player. I'm not super good at like shredding or soloing, but I can make good vibes, good licks.
Good licks. Calmate. Seca. It's just something me and Eric say, Seca. When something's sexy, we go, Seca. A la verga. Yeah, but the Valley music scene has really grown, and it's gone through like I think very obvious stages. Like there was like a math rock era here in the Valley.
Yeah.
There was like a Black Dahlia Murder kind of aesthetic era. And now
there was the emo stuff.
The emo era, and now we're in the, I guess, I don't know, post-neon Indian kind of era, Tame Impala era. I don't know what kind of era we're in right now.
I feel like we're in like the hardcore and like indie. Okay. And like as far as like the local scenes here, because there's like several factions down here. There's like the Tejano bands that do the rounds at all the clubs, and then there's like the hipster bars and spots.
Walrus.
The punk, the hardcore, the indie bands, stuff like that. But yeah, we've come a long way from having very little venues, no bands, really nothing going on, to a lot of everyone's making a band. Everyone's got music going on.
Cine El Rey.
Yeah, Cine El Rey.
It's always packed, dude.
And now Edinburgh has their own Cine El Rey, basically, which is the Citrus Theater downtown. It's the same thing as Cine El Rey. It's like an old theater.
Oh, the Citrus Theater?
Yeah.
Wait, we're downtown where again?
Edinburgh.
Downtown Edinburgh.
Yeah, where the courthouse is, like right across the street.
Yeah, my brother recently played with his band, Nautilus versus Pangolin, at Cine El Rey. And one of their new songs, Moonlight, guys, check it out. What an incredible instrumental piece. I actually shot a music video for that song.
I was going to say that the music video too, yeah.
Thank you so much. This whole podcast is going to be about my brother, okay, guys? But yeah, dude.
Got to throw in your mom and dad too, the hairstylist who does my hair.
Yeah, they cut Eric's hair and they make it better than it already is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Impossible to believe, right? But she does. She's got the magic hands.
Yeah, my mom is, I think, one of the most, if not the most, no disrespect to you, intelligent woman I've ever met in my life. And my dad is, I would say, my best friend. It's something that I'm very proud of, to have a speaking, loving relationship with my parents, and like I'm not ashamed of it. I live with my parents, and I've lived alone, and I always kept them in my life, and so if you guys have, still have your parents with you, value them, love them, cherish them, I don't want to get into a PSA, but,
Yeah, it's great to see the relationship you have with your parents. You're super close. They're at all like your events and parties, and
super supportive.
Yeah, and it's one thing for your parents to be supportive, but like your mom and dad are just so cool too. They're like down to earth, and your mom. One of my first memories of like being at your house is at your birthday party, and your mom's like on the computer and she's playing Carole King. I feel the earth move under my feet. I feel the sky tumbling down. Yeah, I was like, dude, she does good music. And whenever she cuts my hair, we talk about music and all that too.
Yeah, she puts on the hits.
Yeah,
she puts on Carole King, Frank Sinatra, from Simply Red, anything Bob Dylan. You know, interestingly enough, I was the one that got her into Bob Dylan.
Oh,
I was actually very shocked because she really loves like a lot of like 70s and 80s, like really funky like dance music. But I was the one that kind of got her into like Leonard Cohen or like Bob Dylan, and she wasn't really into like kind of like lyrical, like poetic stuff. She was more rhythm, you know, based kind of music. And she would tell me that in the 70s. When Travolta came out with Saturday Night Fever, you know, I think some people kind of have this perception of Mexico, and I guess of any country, right? If you've never lived in that country, that they're like what the media portrays them as. But in 1977, people in Mexico and Monterrey were wearing fucking bell bottoms.
Yeah.
You know, like strutting like Travolta, you know, and it was the in thing, and they passed that on to their kids, and it's like Monterrey especially is like a very like culturally like savvy and like up to date, you know, city, you know.
And they even Mexico even developed its own genres of music that like from America, you know, American music, people brought it to Mexico and they developed their own genres from American music too. Yeah. So
I've heard like a lot of like 60s, I don't know their names, but a lot of like 60s Mexican bands, you know, and they sound almost like the Doors are like very LA, San Francisco kind of, you know, what's the word? Mellotron.
With the organs and stuff.
With the organ. Yeah. You know, that sound, you know, Venice Beach.
Have you heard of that song 96 Tears?
I have not.
The one.
Is it a Mexican song?
No. It's a American song in English, but the band members were from Brownsville. Like two of them were from Brownsville. But it was this big hit in the 60s, and it had like that old organ. You're gonna cry 96 tears. You're gonna
I've probably
cry.
heard it, but I couldn't.
Yeah, it's one of those like one-hit wonders, basically.
Oh, okay.
But they were like Brownsville Mexican guys, and I think they ended up moving to like Minnesota for labor work, and that's where like, you know, kind of the band took off and stuff like that.
Oh, so like the band, the band took off, but then they moved to Minnesota.
Yeah, so a couple of guys were from Brownsville, and then they moved to Minnesota to work, and then they formed a band and all that.
Oh, okay.
And then kind of went off from there, but yeah.
Oh, I didn't know about that. Okay, so the song's called 96 Tears.
Yeah, 96 Tears. Yeah. Question Mark and the Mysterians. That's the band.
Oh, Question Mark and the Mysterians.
Yeah.
I'll check it out.
The lead singer, who's from Brownsville, his name's like Rolando Martinez or something Martinez, right? And he's the weirdest guy. He's like, he believes that he like walked with the dinosaurs, and his name is literally Question Mark. His name is Question Mark, so it's
literally
Question Mark and the Mysterians. So he named himself Question Mark, and he's just way out there. Yeah, he's out there. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think when I first met you, I thought you were way out there, and I'm sure like some people have told you that, you know. And then when I was 18 is when I first met you. Because I saw you with the crazy hair, and I see you with the glasses, and I'm like, this dude is into like 1968. I know he's a Pink Floyd fan, and then I got to know you, and then like the image that I had in my mind, it didn't match, and I mean that in a good way. I was like, Eric's not a movie; he's a real person. You know, he's really sincere. Yeah, you know, he's easygoing, he's mellow, but you know, he's real. He's sincere. You know.
Where was that?
Where was 2015 UTRGV.
Oh, okay. Was that in DSFI? DCFI?
Gamba. Okay. Yeah.
Shout out to Gamba.
Shout out to Gamba and Cougar.
The Gambaster.
The egg Gambaster. Yeah, but it was 2015. It was for a DCFI meet. I think Cougar and Gamba were there in the room. I think even Idania. Remember Idania?
Oh yeah,
She was there.
Bray Brown probably was there.
Bray Brown.
Bray.
Luis. I just don't remember his last name. Reyes, I think is his last name.
Yeah, Luis Reyes. The guy that everyone said looked like what's his name? The actor.
Oh my god.
Fucking what was his name? Oh, Caleb was his name.
Caleb. I don't know.
They said he'd look like the guy from Drive. What's his name?
Oh, Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling. They said he looked like Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling.
But yeah,
that's the first time I met you.
But I remember we had a film competition, and you did you were acting in like a black and white video.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I remember I was a judge for one of the festivals, and I was like, dude, this is the best actor here out of all the videos, like this guy. And I like campaigned for you. I was like, nah, dude, like this guy. Like I didn't even know you at the time. I mean, I knew you from like the club, but I didn't we weren't friends yet, really. But I was like, you can't deny like that. And that's the best thing you can be as an artist is undeniable. Like you're so good, you're just undeniable.
Thank you.
So when I saw that, I mean, it was unanimous, right? But I just knew right off the bat, I was like, dude, this guy's good. Like,
and by the way, it's not like I'm going to try to take away from your compliment or, try to be like fake humble, but like, I saw things that I liked, right? And then looking back, that was 10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And I saw things that I didn't like, right? For my own personal taste. But it was so frightening because I had never been in a competition like that before. I'd never had to work in a fast pace to make a film in like 48 hours. Mm-hmm. And then after that, I got the acting bug. I'd always done impressions, of actors, of celebrities. My favorite one, everyone's always heard me do, fuck, I told you, Soprano, get the fuck out of here. For your fucking information. We're on a fucking Eric Echo show. I'm fucking gabbling, I'd always,
Who is that?
Tony Soprano, get the fuck out of here. We're doing an intervention with Eric Echo. But
what other ones can you do? Who else?
Oh my god.
You got the De Niro.
I got. That's good. That's good, Eric. Hey, get the fuck down. Get down. Okay.
That one's so good, dude.
And then I'm Jason Statham. I'm on the Eric Echo show. And this is my horrible British accent, but fuck it, Who else can I do? Give me a movie. Give me a series. Give me a famous,
let's see,
celebrity.
You did Al Pacino.
Hooah! Way down here. I was watching Scarface the other day. I think every Latino can quote Scarface from beginning to end. Sosa, we have some problems, It was Canadian tourists, some stupid shit like that.
What's your favorite movie, or what are your favorite movies?
I think my favorite movie of all time is 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Oh, yeah, great choice.
2001: A Space Odyssey is my favorite film to watch, and I think it's the best film of all time. And it's not like I think that it's not that I think that your favorite films should be the films that you think are the best, because there are films that I love to watch more than films that I think that are better than those films. Like, for example, The Color of Money by Scorsese, which is one of the most formulaic pool hall movies where the student outlearns the master, right? And Tom Cruise plays this young, cocky, but talented pool player who's sponsored and spotted by Paul Newman, and he takes him under his wing, and he teaches him, how to basically hustle people and play them out of their money. So he would play horribly at first, right? And so he would lose a lot of his money, and then at the end he would bet all that money and double, and he would and then he would win, and he would make a profit. So he would hustle people like that.
Yeah. Right.
And then Tom Cruise basically uses those techniques or like his teachings against his master, Paul Newman. But it's a very like, cliched kind of, routine kind of master student movie, but it's just the masterful Scorsese you mentioned, direction, the camera work, the music choice, it's like putting on, and speaking of music, it's putting it on an LP, right? If I watch Goodfellas, right, it's like putting on Dark Side of the Moon, or it's like putting on, the Wall, right? I can listen to it from the beginning to the end, or the White Album by the Beatles, right? Or Forrest Gump, if you catch it on AMC, right, you're gonna stay stuck to the television. You're probably gonna continue watching even from where it left off.
Yeah, even though you've seen it like a million times.
Yeah. Because the way it's cut is like an LP.
Yeah, like each act is like a little movie in itself, and it's like you could easily just watch it the whole thing one sitting,
and it flows into the next act like a piece of music, like a symphony. You know, but yeah, I would say 2001: A Space Odyssey is my favorite movie, and I think it's the best film of all time. What do you think is your favorite movie of all time?
I mean, I have to say the same director too.
Oh shit.
A Clockwork Orange is like one of the first movies that made me think really deeply about a movie and try and understand it and dissect it and figure out what the fuck is going on. And I feel like that movie, A Clockwork Orange, every time I watch it, I learn something new about it. I'm like, oh, that's what they meant. That's why they did this. And because the language too, it's like this gibberish kind of slang, futuristic slang that like makes no sense. Like, I don't know if you've read the book or...
Of course, yeah, by Anthony Burgess.
Yeah, it's like the first few pages, you're like, what
am I even going through right now?
But when you finish it and you read it again, you're like, I got it. Like, it's making more sense. And it's like that for the movie too. The more you watch it, the more you get it.
And you ask yourself, reading it at the beginning, how did this ever get adapted into, entertaining, understandable movie, digestible movie? Obviously, Kubrick's films aren't like easily digestible. Yeah. But, there's always the surface plot that is, understandable. Yeah. Right. In his movies. But I think that A Clockwork Orange is that film, 2001: A Space Odyssey, and Barry Lyndon, which were all made consecutively, like next to each other, are my three favorite movies. Ooh. Yeah. And I love how in Spanish, A Clockwork Orange is La Naranja Mecánica, and then Full Metal Jacket is La Chaqueta Metálica. And then Clockwork Orange is about how the government tries to kill the killer instinct for its own benefit. They try to make you behave, right? Yeah. And in Full Metal Jacket is the opposite. Yeah. Where it's make you a government tries to, refine that killer instinct or to instill it in you for its own use. And he was very aware of what he was doing. It was like he was making chapters on humanity with every movie that he ever made. And I've always thought that 2001: A Space Odyssey is a movie where everything before... I mean, it's kind of like... What's the word? It's kind of redundant to say it, but it's a beautiful thing to think about. When the Moon Watcher throws the bone into the air, and it obviously cuts into the spaceship, everything in between that moment, you can sandwich his entire filmography in between that little moment, right? And everybody else's movies, Goodfellas. So it's almost like everything always, because he's so great and because he said everything that you could possibly say about people, right? Everything kind of just references him. Every other movie that tries to cover a topic, because he covered it so deeply and so, like, in my opinion, right, absolutely, into that one single moment, it all kind of just references him, Yeah. It all references that.
That's an interesting thing I never thought of, like the whole the bone to the... I mean, that's obviously the reference, right? The bone to the spaceship and how like a man has evolved so far, but like everything in between is like what we forget, and like that's an interesting perspective to think about.
Yeah, you can sandwich Barry Lyndon in between that, The Clockwork Orange, Eyes Wide Shut, Full Metal Jacket, The Shining, The Killer's Kiss, Paths of Glory, Lolita Spartacus, Doctor Strangelove. You can put them all in there, and it's like they're all in dialogue with each other. And it's like I said, it's like a chapter 2 Kubrick, chapter 3 Kubrick, chapter 4.
What do you think about Eyes Wide Shut and the kind of conspiracy that factually he died like a week before the movie was released, and so there's this whole conspiracy that he rejected these changes that the studio wanted to make to the movie. They wanted to take out a bunch of stuff, and he was like, no, this is my movie, we're going to leave it all in. And he basically was fighting them on the changes, and then coincidentally he passes away, and then they're able to make the changes to the movie and then release it. So a lot of people are like, they got rid of him so he wouldn't expose what's going on.
Well, I did a little bit of research on this, and Jan Harlan, his brother-in-law, and his wife Christiane, actually, if you could call it, cleared it up, right? Because we will never know the full truth, right? But they confirmed that he okayed the final cut that you see that Warner Brothers released, and that he had failing health, right? I mean, if you look at his like documentaries, photographs of him, I think you can kind of what's the word, not like decipher or discern, but he was a smoker, right? He was a smoker, and I think he was like he died of a heart attack in his sleep.
Oh.
And he was, as his family was saying, overworked. And he was, always heavily involved and heavily, like, passionately immersed in his projects, like, to the most meticulous level. I'm sure you've everyone's heard of the 127 takes. And imagine doing that at age 70 or 69.
Oh, yeah.
Doing Eyes Wide Shut. And it was like, I think it had the longest continuous shoot, record for the longest continuous shoot, and Guinness World Records, like it went into the Guinness World Records book.
Wow, I didn't know that. For like, you mean like one shooting day, or like one scene, or like what do you mean?
The
like
shoot
the movie,
of the whole movie, right?
Oh.
Sorry for bad articulation. Yeah, the longest shoot, I think it was like 2 years or 3 years, something like that.
Oh, dang!
I might be wrong.
I know that.
I might be wrong, but yeah, it's got the longest. Jamie, can you pull it up? Okay. Yeah.
Jamie, can you pull that up?
Yeah.
Gamba, can you pull that up over
there?
The Yo Mama said, "This is the Yo Mama House studio right now."
Yeah.
That movie though, Eyes Wide Shut. I remember seeing it as a kid. I didn't really, know what to kind of think about. I just thought like, oh yeah, he's stumbling upon a secret society sort of thing. But there's a lot of.
What do you think about it?
There's a lot of kind of underlying stuff that they hint towards other things that, like at the very end, where they're at the toy store. It's Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman with their child, and they're walking through the toy store. And then all of a sudden, these two guys in suits walk off with their daughter. And Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman are still walking away, and the daughter's gone. And then that's the end of the movie. So that leads a lot of people to believe that Tom Cruise got involved with the secret society with the understanding that he would give up his daughter.
Oh, okay.
Because like when he goes to that costume shop to look for a mask.
Yeah, it's the Christmas, what's the paraphernalia? Like it's like a toy store. Yeah.
And when he goes in there, there's that young girl who, she's a famous actress now.
Lily Sobieski.
Yo, dang, yeah. I would never remember that name. but yeah, so she was obviously supposed to be underage, and she's like hitting on Tom Cruise, and then like the store owner comes out and he's like, oh no, like you he's not for you, or something like that. But it's like insinuating like there's this underbelly secret society with the underage girls and this going on, and he gets involved, and he's useful. Tom Cruise is useful because he's a doctor, and there's that scene where he gets called to that hotel room or the penthouse because that girl has an overdose. Yeah, and they know Tom Cruise will keep his mouth shut. Right, his eyes wide, but his mouth is shut. Right, that's the whole theme. Right, is these people, like it's known, but people don't talk about it, right? So that's something I didn't figure out till later, that Tom Cruise was like involved, but they don't really say it explicitly. Even the scene where they're at like this fancy party and Nicole Kidman's dancing with some like old man. It's like they're swinging, they're like subtly swingers, and like everyone's like trying to bang everybody, and like and it's that understanding that you know, we're gonna go after your wife, we're gonna go after your daughter, and if you want to be in this club, you got to let us do it. So and it's not really said in the movie, which is what makes people believe that, you know, they took a lot of things out, and or we're actually what I mean by that, taking it out, is that if you read the script, there's a narrator throughout the whole movie who's, you know, giving exposition for certain things, but the final cut doesn't have the narrator at all. So when you read the script, people are like, yeah, this narrator is important to like tell us, you know, what's going on and who's involved and the intentions behind certain things, but the narrator was taken out. So that's why people are like, oh, you know, he wanted to leave it in and the studio took it out, and he didn't, blah, blah, blah. They had a little fight and blah, blah, blah. But I didn't know that about his brother.
I didn't hear about that, about a narrator being a part of the plan. I didn't know that at all.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Okay.
I had seen like some video on it, you know, someone breaking down the movie, and they had like a copy of the script, or I guess you can find it online, and yeah, there's a narrator like explaining things, and it's like, yeah, why is the narrator not in the final movie, you know?
Well, it you know, is believable because Stanley Kubrick was known to use narration a lot in his movies to, you know, set up exposition and get it out of the way so that the most interesting dramatic bits could, you know, be the focus of the movie at every moment. You know, like Barry Lyndon, like for example, uses a narrator in the third person. Whereas in the book, Redmond Barry, the protagonist, played by Ryan O'Neal, is the narrator, right? Which would kind of be like a remake, a spiritual remake of Clockwork Orange, because in that film the narrator is the protagonist. And you know what? In a way, Barry Lyndon is kind of a tangent. Barry Lyndon is kind of like a spiritual remake of Clockwork Orange, because at the beginning of the film, the main character has the most control he'll have for the rest of the film of his life. Like agency, he can choose what to do, what he wants when he wants. He falls in love, and he knows that he has to kill in a duel a British officer to get the girl that he wants, right? Because they're fighting for this girl. And when he does that, right, he's messing with the law, right? And so now he has to run away from home and, you know, flee the authorities, and he becomes somebody else. He starts to lie, to cheat, to steal, to survive, impersonating British officers, impersonating people of high society. And in Clockwork Orange, right, Alex has to learn to behave, right, to get the things that he wants. When he's in prison, right, he has to say the right things to the prison chaplain, right, to the prison guards, to the prime minister, right, and he wants to reform, but that's BS. You know, he says those things just so he can gain back the life that he had before he went into prison, and that's what he gets, right? And there's kind of like a debate whether or not he actually, like, whether the treatment actually like worked, because, like, you know, when he's in Patrick McGee's house, the guy in the wheelchair, and then he gets in the bathtub, he starts singing in the rain, right? And he starts going, ta, ta. So he's reliving a violent moment, right? And you're supposed and you're thinking, well, isn't he supposed to be like what's the word? Feeling sick? Because remember, he always says, right. I feel sick. I feel like I'm gonna throw up. I just want to snuff it. And it's like, well, how come when you're, you know, singing in the rain, in the shower, in the bathtub, you're like singing, I'm laughing at clouds so dark up above, and then to me it kind of clicked. I'm like, oh, so there could be a degree of him faking it, you know, to try to get the things that he wanted. But where the the real debate comes in is like, did he really try to kill himself? Did he know he was going to survive the fall? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. But I guess like on a tangent, like I think Barry Lyndon and Clockwork Orange are kind of, you know, like very similar in that regard. And the use of classical music as well.
It's interesting. The characters, the protagonists that Stanley Kubrick chooses are like these complex, broken, you know, violent characters that are up to no good, and you know, but they're likable. You make them likable. You know, like Alex DeLarge from A Clockwork Orange, like the worst human being possible.
Yeah.
You know, raping and killing and robbing and well, does he kill?
Yes, he does.
He kills
the
that
old lady,
the yoga lady, right?
Yeah, the cat lady. Yeah, yeah. Yoga lady. Yeah, she
yoga cat lady with the giant dick.
Giant dick.
But they end up being likable. You know, so it's interesting that he chooses characters like that as a protagonist.
Yeah, I when I see Clockwork Orange and the way it begins, it's like an LP. Everything up until he returns home after that night of just mayhem is like listening to the first maybe 2 or 3 tracks of Dark Side, right? You know, and then there's like cool down period.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know. I've always kind of seen that film again like an LP. And what's interesting is that Kubrick kind of structured it like what's it called, sonata form, which is a form of classical music. And I think the novel Clockwork Orange is also structured in supposedly sonata form. I haven't read it in a long time, and so it has like these 3 acts, you know, that are structured like music, not just like beginning, middle, and end, but like in a musical fashion.
Okay,
you know?
Wow, I didn't know that. I don't know what a sonata form is.
I don't know what it is either. I mean, I listen to classical music, but I don't know what like sonata form actually is.
Yeah.
You know, but it's a classical form. You know. So.
And speaking of you know, all these movies and stuff, you've got a project going on.
Yes, sir.
And what's all that about?
Okay, so me and a couple of guys here from the Valley, Miguel Rivera and Rene Lopez Sandoval, are making this short film, which you'll guys see a preview of on this wonderful show called The Three Musketeers.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Musketeers.
It's about these 3 guys who are sitting around dancing, shooting the shit, and one of them is hung up on this girl, and this other guy is, you know, consoling him and telling him what he should tell her to make her fall in love. While I play the guy that's trying to give him, you know, like the reality of the situation. Like, hey, dude, like just cut this girl off. She's wasting your time. But you'll see what I mean. I think you'll really enjoy it. And thank you for even bringing it up.
Yeah, I like the clip that you sent me. It reminds me of like a mob movie, like this, like a slow-mo sort of like. I don't know. You always do like these cool like shots and like mob stuff, like. My favorite shot that I've seen you do is the one with the shower and the fisheye.
Oh,
it's like you open the shower and then you like point the gun. And I'm like, that's like a cool shot. That's like real classic.
It's I think something that I steal from my favorite movies. Yeah, you know, and it's just something that I saw that was available. I saw that I have a shower. Everybody has a shower that's available. And what would it look like if you were to point a gun at somebody that was in a bathtub, right? Well, you use a fisheye lens, right? Because it mimics a point of view, right? And sometimes I can just, you know, combine that with, I don't know, something that I saw in a newspaper or a photograph that I saw from history. Like, you have a bunch of photographs up here. Morrison, John Lennon, like that album cover. And like that album cover right there, that could be a great shot for the opening of a movie with the main character. Almost anything, depending on, I don't know, the context. You know. So I the way I make movies is I think in shots, you know, and then I kind of come up with a basic situation based on that. I don't really like to think about like the meaning of the movie, even though I've talked to you about meaning, right? Like for like 30 minutes about Kubrick's movies, but I think about meaning like I guess after.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel like that's the best thing because you shouldn't overthink it because then it's gonna ruin the magic, and that's the best thing to do is preserve the magic and just let it flow and let it come naturally, and then look back at it and be like, oh, I did that because of this. Like I was going through this at that time and I didn't really think about it in the moment, but I just did it. I was like, you know, watching a lot of this and I subconsciously did a shot like that. And then like sometimes there's no meaning at all, and you leave it to the audience to create a meaning. And then you're like, like I didn't put a meaning. Like a perfect example is I Am the Walrus by the Beatles.
Oh yeah, that Lennon didn't have anything deep to say, but a bunch of people were and still are analyzing that song, saying, "Oh, this is what it means," and he's like, "Dude, no, you know." Oh, well, I don't want to take your story.
Well, no, I mean I mean you're right about all that. It's actually he heard about kids at a school who were dissecting Beatles songs to try and come up with a meaning, so he wrote I Am the Walrus to throw people off, to have absolutely no meaning so that people would try and figure out a meaning to it, which is genius, you know?
Yeah.
And the song itself is like, yellow matter custard dripping from a dead dog's eye. Like, what pornographic teachers, Judy Bloody Tuesday. Like, what?
It almost sounds like a Dylan song, you know? And then people look at it and it's just like, okay, so this is, you know, very Dylan-esque. It's very cryptic. Like, no, dude, like he literally just didn't like have any intended ulterior motive or any meaning attached to it. He was just randomly strung together. You know, as far as I know.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I'm sure there's some meaning to some of the lyrics to Lennon, right? But he's not going to tell everyone because that's the whole point of the song is for no one to know the meaning. Like Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, like you can't tell me that didn't mean LSD. Like come on, like it's a song, it's a colorful, magical, eclectic song during their LSD era. You like, of course, it's about LSD.
1967, right? Strawberry Fit, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Yes.
So, you know, like of course they're gonna come up with a narrative for the media to be like, oh no, it was my son. He drew a picture and called it Lucy in the Sky Down. It's like, yeah, all right, bro. Like happiness is a worn gun is not about heroin. Like, come on, man, come on.
Or I think was it Noam Gallagher that was denying that Champagne Supernova doesn't have references to drugs. You know, and it's like, no, it doesn't. And then like one of the first lyrics is, "Where were you while we were getting high?"
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a great song. What's wrong with it? You know, having a drug reference. You know. Yeah. You know, I think everybody in some way or some fashion has some kind of recreational drug, and it doesn't have to be prescribed. It could be sugar,
coffee.
It could be coffee. You know, anything that you know produces the same effect in your brain, which is this dopamine hit, and that you're addicted to. Hey, that functions the same way that, you know, drugs that are prescribed, you know, do, or drugs that are illegal, right? In a way, you know, maybe some are more dangerous than others, right? And they do have different effects, right? Not all you like, for example, you know, you can't compare the effects of weed to like, and I've never smoked weed, right? To like cocaine, right? Yeah. You know, I don't know, you know, but I think everybody has some kind of, not vice, well, maybe. You know,
yeah, I think everybody does. Everybody's got to have some sort of release or an escape, really, from stress and problems and fucking life, dude. Life is just suffering, you know. Happiness is not guaranteed.
Happiness is a warm gun, okay? No,
yeah.
I'm kidding.
When I hold you in my arms,
I think,
and I feel your finger on my finger on your trigger.
Oh shit! I think that I've lived a pretty happy life. I've been pretty privileged to live a happy life, and my only complaints are about my own shortcomings or things that were my responsibility where I fucked up. And I never really, I'm very fortunate, and it's not like I'm like bragging. I'm very grateful that I've got to live, I've gotten to live to the 28th year of my life with loving, healthy parents. My mom recently went through a health scare.
Really?
She got a bacterial infection that put her in the hospital and threatened her life. We just didn't tell anyone. I didn't tell you.
Mm-hmm.
And she was in the hospital for a week. And there was a point where after she had gone to the ER for the second time, that they said her lungs, her heart, her kidneys were all failing, and that it was like a matter of time, like to get the news, the bad news, right? That nobody wants to hear. And I was praying, man. I was praying, and like I've never prayed before, and it was, I think, recently the most humbling experience that I've ever had. And like I don't think I can't speak for anybody else, right? But I don't think I've tasted enough adversity. And I'm not saying that people need to face that with their mom. It's not what I'm implying. It's that that moment made me really appreciate how good I have it.
Mm-hmm.
How much love I have, the friends that I have.
Mm-hmm.
In my life. I never told you that, but
Mm-hmm.
it's just something that like we kept away from like everybody else.
That's no one needs to know, but the family. How is she doing now,
dude? And here's the thing: she looks brand new. After they gave her the antibiotics, they regulated her heartbeat because her heartbeat was so irregular and so fast. And one night I stayed with her, and I was just looking up at the monitor, and she was asleep. And while she was asleep, it would go past like the regular, like the average heartbeat, heart rate. And I was just freaking out. I was just like, dude, like, okay, whatever is going to happen is going to happen. We can't control our fucking hearts. We can't control somebody else's heart. It's going to do what it's going to do. And thankfully it because of the medication, the heart medication that they gave her, and all the antibiotics, everything went back to normal. And she's lost a lot of weight now. And she looks healthier. She looks happier. She's more alert. So I don't know, dude. It was a life-changing experience. It was very life-changing. Here the way I'm making it sound, it's like it was about me and my learning experience, but no, it was about me being taught a lesson to be more selfless. And my mother was the attention at that moment. That's what it really taught me. Because dude, there was a moment, and I know this is your first podcast. You can cut it out or whatever. Go. There was a moment where I was like, what am I gonna do? Not financially, but like emotionally or spiritually. What am I gonna do without my mom? Like, dude, she's my best friend along with my dad. I want to see her see me succeed, and I don't want her to miss those moments. And then I realized, you know what, Nabil? It's not about you, and it's not in your hands. And if she leaves you, you can't control that. If she's not feeling like she can handle this, right? You can't selfishly say, "Oh, stay, stay." Any logical person would, right? You didn't want to lose a family member, but it really taught me that. It's just like, you know what, Nabil? It's not about you possibly losing a parent. It's about you doing the best that you can for her health, and empathizing with her pain. And you have to let play out what's going to play out. You've tried your best, and thankfully, she pulled out even stronger, even more alert. If you see her, again, she looks different. She has a different light in her eyes. Look at this photograph that she just sent me of her today. Look, and maybe you'll see that she looks more, I don't know, alive.
Oh,
yeah,
dude, yeah, she's got a glow and she's smiling, and I'm sure she's so happy to have beaten that and to come out, as you're saying, even better on the other side,
Yeah, I heard coming out of the hospital, it got really bad, dude. You wouldn't recognize her. It's such a bizarre experience because I had never seen her. I've always considered her the rock of my family. I have never seen her that beat up. It sucks, Eric, when you see the person that's the rock of your family in the most vulnerable state that they can be in. You're like, okay, it's real. The movie is over. The show's over. This is real. And it's about them. I know I'm repeating myself, but
no, man, that's a traumatic experience, and you've never experienced anything like that, and I'm sure your mom hasn't, and your whole family, and your dad, and your brother, and all her friends, and her family, and it's traumatic,
Yeah, but I could also say that it was right, but it made me, again, it sounds like it's making it about me, but it did make me. As a byproduct, it made me stronger, right? It made me stronger, and it made her stronger. And she says, and I see it now, she's more mindful of her health. She's more mindful of her health now. But I've seen my parents. I've lived with them every day of my life. Well, not every day, because for 2 years I lived on my own. But I've got to see them age. Right, and lose mobility and lose reflexes, so you see the whole thing play out. You see everything wither away before your eyes.
And did you guys figure out how she got that infection or what happened?
Dude, so at first what we were being told is it was called pulmonary edema, because when your lungs get filled with water.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Guess have to correct me if I'm wrong. Apparently, because your heart's not working correctly, and she was suffering heart failure at that moment. But then it turned out that it wasn't pulmonary edema, and that it was this bacterial infection, this bacteria that everyone has, E. coli. The doctor told her, but it attacked her because her defenses, I think, were down, and when that happened, she was breathing heavily. She had horrible stomach pains, and the doctor told her a million things. One was telling her that she was getting a stone. She's passing a stone. Another one told her pulmonary edema, heart failure. But what was for sure going on was that she was damaged from her kidneys, damaged from her heart, damaged from her lungs, and that just, dude, it really puts you into perspective, how much of a machine we are, and how machines break down, and we think we're so alive, we're so alert, we're so intelligent, we're so invincible, right? As cliche as this monologue sounds, but that really, it was a kick in the butt for her. It was a kick in the butt. Sorry for digressing.
Yeah.
Well, tomorrow, actually, I'm going to be doing a rehearsal for the Three Musketeers.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And at 2, I'm going to show up and be an extra for another short film here that's being shot in the Valley.
Okay.
I think one of my collaborators, Rene Lopez Sandoval's, I think his cousin Heriberto is making that project, so that's gonna be cool. I'm very excited for that, and it's a lot of fun to just constantly be in and out of one short film and then another one, and sometimes I'm really into a project, and sometimes I just do it because I feel like I would go insane if I'm not working on something. I feel like I'm getting slower. I'm getting fatter if I'm not on the treadmill of acting or writing and directing. Too much, sitting around makes, and thinking about making a movie gets me, anxious, right? Like I feel like I'm not being productive, and even though I may not like a certain project or maybe I'm half into it, I'm like, I have to do it, I think I'm halfway decent at it. So, all right, let's just do it. Let's get it under the belt,
Let's get your reps in. Yeah, get your reps in.
Get the reps in.
Dude, tell me about that TV show you're on. What was it called? Like
is called Enamorándonos.
Donos. I never knew how to pronounce it. It was like a long ass word. I was like, enamorando.
No, it's okay.
What does that mean? Like in love or something?
Yeah. In falling in love.
Oh, okay.
That's what the show is called. And the basic concept is that on the set of Bleachers, there are contestants, men and women, that are waiting for other men and women to come for them and to, go on a date with them if they want. So you'll be sitting at the bleachers, and the hosts of the TV show will say, somebody is here for Nabil. And then you'll go to the main stage of the set. And then they put a door in between you and the person that has, come for you, right, to go on a date with you. And you chat with them for about a minute or two. And then the contestants say, que se abra la puerta del amor. The door opens, right? And you finally see the person that came for you, right, to go on a date with you. And you talk a little bit. And then the hosts are like, all right, so is it going to be a que sí or a que no? Like, do you want to go on a date with this person that came for you? And then you're like, if you don't like the girl, right? Then you're like, it's going to be a que no for me. She wasn't tall enough. She wasn't old enough. I'm old, some stupid arbitrary, some people would say some stupid arbitrary reason sometimes. And the hosts would be like, this is some bullshit. They just wouldn't buy it, and then sometimes the show would, get mad at, those contestants that were on the bleachers. I was like, dude, like, you're getting a little too arrogant, you're getting a little too picky sometimes. Like, no one's going to come for you if you don't, not settle down, but like, loosen up.
Yeah.
And I had the privilege to be a part of that show. It was a lot of fun. They paid for my flight to the set of Enamorándonos, and they hooked me up with a very nice hotel room, two different hotel rooms. Actually, no, three on three different occasions. I was in one hotel room at the 4 Points, and I was there for about a season of the show, which is like 4 or 5 months. I was very fortunate. And then they moved me into another hotel room, the Element Suites. It was like its own apartment, dude. I had my own like set up there, and it was free. Like they were paying for everything. So I'm very grateful for that. It was like having. I never got to have my college dorm life experience, and Enamorándonos was like that.
Because all the other contestants were in the same like apartment complex, right?
Yeah. and then with the women had their own hotel room, the men had their own hotel room, and what would happen was the guys would, hang out at the girls' hotel, or the girls would go hang out with the guys' hotel. And then people would, share, gossip information about, oh, I saw this girl at this guy's room and go into this guy's room, etc. And that's how the gossip would start and fights would start like that, And I had the great experience of getting to know a lot of people there. And I had 2 relationships on and off of the show. From the show.
Who were they? Who were the relationships?
The first girl that I had a relationship with there on the show was Kayla Perez. She's from DR.
Oh, Dominican Republic.
Yeah, she moved over here to Houston, and then she moved over here to Miami.
She was the tall morenita one, right?
Yes, yes. Awesome experience getting to know her and her family. We didn't last long, together. You know, we've talked, and hung out years after that. And then my second relationship was with another Dominican girl.
You got to type.
I got to type. I just think black girls are beautiful, dude.
Yeah. Well, they're kind of like those type of girls. They're like Latina and black mixed together.
Trigueña.
Yeah.
But I've gone out with African American. I've gone out with Dominicanas. But I don't know. I just see them as like the same skin color, right? Some people are lighter, some people are darker. But Janelle, wonderful experience to get to know her and her family. Awesome people. Yeah. Awesome people.
I got to meet her once at your birthday party. Yeah, you did, dude. Sweet girl, still really nice. She's still really nice to me. Yeah. But let's go to the very beginning of that show. Like, how did you find out about the show? How did you audition for it? What was that like?
My dad was really into the show.
Oh, okay.
And he would always put it on, and I would always pass by him in the living room watching it, and I'm like, oh, it's that show again. It's like a novela type of like love connection show, right? And I think maybe after like 2 years of him watching it, he's like, Nabil, you should go on that show. You should audition. You should, try out and see. Maybe they'll pick you up. I think they'll pick you up. I'm like, really, dude? Like, yeah. So I sent in my, I filled out an application. It was called Casting Crane. And I sent in a photo of myself, what kind of girl I was looking for, what are my past experiences, in dating. And I got a call. And they said, would you like to do the next day, I got a call. Would you like to do a Zoom meeting with us and tomorrow? And I'm like, sure. All right. So I showed up to the Zoom meeting, right? And what do you like to do? What kind of girls are you into? And I think that meeting lasted like 10 minutes, I think. And they're like, all right, dude, like we would love to like get you on a flight from where you live in McAllen to Miami. I'm like, get out of here. Wow. Like, yeah, we can get you like to Miami on Tuesday. I'm like, okay, all right. Okay, whatever you say. Whatever happens. Whatever. Yeah. If it doesn't happen, whatever, right? What do I have to lose? And what do you know? They sent me the tickets over, digitally, right? And then I boarded a flight on a plane here in McAllen. It took me to the connecting flight was in Dallas, and then from there I flew to Miami, and I was there on Tuesday. I was on Tuesday, on that week of that, the Tuesday of that week, and I arrived there, and the first thing that they wanted to do was a segment where I was this mysterious contestant with long weird hair, and so they what they were doing was they asked me, so what girl do you want to date, or do you like from the show? Oh, I like this one. Oh, she's not available. Well, I like that one. Okay, well, that one's available. And what they did was they would play her on the big screen of the show, clips of my hair or like the back of my head.
Oh, so they weren't like showing your face or nothing.
That's correct.
Like you were supposed to be just this mystery contestant. Right. Oh, okay.
And they had never, yes, I'm tooting my horn. Okay. They had never done that kind of like presentation for a character. So I was very lucky. I was very privileged to get that treatment from them, where they were like presenting me as this big thing, right? I'm not, dude. I'm just a cagalero. I'm just a guy that just likes to chill out, listen to music, make movies. And I show up to the set, and I could see from behind the curtain, because I was in the backstage, and I could see like the whole set. Like, this looks like a movie, and I'm like, this is too much. After I arrived, from the plane.
It was like setting in and hitting you.
The first challenge was getting on the plane because I had fly phobia.
Oh.
You know, and once you're on the plane and the door locks, your pride kicks in. You're like, are you gonna be a little bitch and tell the flight attendant or the pilot, get me off this plane, get me off the no, you know, or are you gonna sit down, bite on the mouthpiece, and just take it, you know? And that's what I did. And then the first flight was to Dallas, and I was like, okay, I'm alive. All right, now I just need to survive the next 2-3 hours to Miami, you know? And by the middle portion of that flight, I was like in a sort of brain state where I was like on, no pun intended, autopilot, and whatever was going to happen. But I was terrified for my life with a straight face.
Before even getting to the show.
I would look at the flight attendant like, yeah, I know I'm going to die, but, you know, I'm having fun, you know, I'm the type of guy that would look out the window. I love to look out the window to see like when I'm gonna die.
Right there, I'm gonna fall into the ocean.
Fall into the ocean right now. Okay, the passenger beside me would tell me like close the window, you know, so you don't look out so you don't get freaked out. I'm like, no, I want to see when I die. You know, like I want to look out. You know, you're pretty helpless, dude. Like the only person that's in control there is the pilot. Yeah. You know, you can't do anything.
Yeah, and he doesn't want to die either.
So the only thing you can do is to live vicariously through him and his expertise, and that he's done this a million times, right? And that he knows what he's doing, and and that you are going to be okay.
Unless he's a black pilot.
And
then Charlie Kirk's gonna have something to say about that.
My God!
But no, is that like the first time you flew on a plane, or like you've only gone a handful of times?
I've gone a handful of times.
Like before that?
Yes, before that. Yeah, like I can distinctly remember like I had been on a plane maybe like 3 times before that in my life, 3 or 4 times, and it was always Southwest Airlines. So just changing the airline to me and my anxious brain, right? My flight phobia brain, I'm like, American Airlines? Oh, okay, I'm gonna die. You know, it's not Southwest. It's not what I'm used to. Okay, I'm gonna die. Oh. Okay, you know. So I finally get to the show after I did the flight.
So you do the flight, and then do you go that same day, or do you sleep in your hotel that night and go the next morning, or?
I get to Miami. And that very same day, they want me on the set and to see the girl. It was Jenny Alvarez.
Okay, hold on. So you do your application, and then the next day they call you up, and then the day of the interview they say, we want you to go on the flight next week.
Yes, sir.
And then as soon as you get there, they want you on the set, and they do this special mysterious contestant thing. Like, honestly, like I saw like the episodes you were on, and no one else looked like you. No one else dressed like you. No one else had like charisma like you.
Thank you.
No one else had the personality like you. So I could see why you were such like a wild card special contestant, because like they probably had never had anyone apply there like you before.
I don't know, maybe, you know. I learned. Thank you for saying that. That's a great compliment. I learned a lot about people being on that show, people that were older than me. I learned about dating, and I learned about how like unique a lot of people there were. And again, the word that I use is humbling, right? Because you meet people that have so much talent. Great singing ability, great acting ability, dancers, writers, comedians, you know, and sometimes they would just come to the show just to do their bit, right?
Yeah, do promote themselves,
stand-up bit. And at first, you know, that's what my intention was going to Enamoradonos, right? Because you can find love anywhere. You can find love at McDonald's. You can find love at school. Tinder.
At work,
Tinder. But when once you start, to get to know the people there on the show, and you're hanging out with them all the time, well, you're gonna find someone that you like eventually. You're gonna find a girl that you get along with, and you either fall in love or you won't, and that's what ended up happening to me on the show. But you take it away. You're gonna ask me something.
Oh no, but I want to know like some of the behind the scenes stuff, like stuff that you surprised you, stuff that some lessons you learned, stuff that like maybe people don't know about reality TV. Like what are some things that you learned about that show? Like some behind the scenes, like, whoa, I didn't know this stuff actually happens, or what?
It is once you are put in front of a camera that is going to capture a recording of you that is going to be broadcast to millions of people simultaneously, and that's going to happen for a continuous amount of time, it can become an addiction. It can become, again, we're on the topic of drugs, right? It can become something that you look for in art and other art forms, and other avenues. And a lot of people on that show behind the scenes were plotting, oh, okay, like we're going to break up so that, we could continue being on the show together, and getting clout on the show. And then the show would catch on to that. Like the managers or like the head honchos, like, okay, so y'all broke up on the show, right? So that y'all could both continue being on the bleachers on the show and still have room service, and still get catering and food.
Is that because once you start dating, then you're off of the show? Is that what happens, or what?
It's to the discretion of the show, right?
Okay.
Once you start dating, the show wants to see your relationship develop on their program, right? See, what are you guys up to, right? And then to their discretion, right? When they think that things are are a lock between this girl and Nabil, right? They're like, all right, well, you guys go home, let's see how your relationship plays out. Right. And then like they'll check in on you like every couple of months, or every couple of weeks, my bad. How are you guys doing? And then sometimes things wouldn't work out with, I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about like your general contestant with a relationship. And then a guy or a girl that they would tell the production things aren't working out. I want to come back to the show, and I want to date other girls. So they would bring the couple back to the show, and there would be fucking drama, and they'd get into fights, on national television, and then they're like, okay, it's definitively going to be a que no for me. I don't want to go out with you anymore. And they would both, to the discretion of the show, go back to the bleachers, and then they would try to find somebody else on the bleachers, or somebody would come for them, after their recent breakup.
Did you have anything like that, like any drama that the show tried to stir up or anything like that?
I was involved in a couple of dramatic moments. My first relationship started in drama and ended in drama.
How did it start in drama?
So me and this girl,
Kayla,
we started going out, and other girls were and guys were coming for her, right? And girls were coming for me at that time. And at the time we were going out in secret, right?
Oh, before the show knew.
Oh. Right? And then I told the showrunner, hey, like I really like this girl, Kayla. And like I want to like present her as a girl that I like, on the show. And then the showrunners were like, hey, well, like there's other people that want to meet you. Like, wait, Nabil, if this doesn't work out with these people, well then, you can see what's going on with you and Kayla. I'm like, all right, whatever. And I would ask them, hey, like, I want to do this, and I guess they never like listened to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, I respect it. It's whatever, right? You guys have always been nice with me, right? And so, me and Kayla, while on the bleachers during break, like we were getting like handsy, right? We were like touching each other's hands, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm just like, "Oh, I'm just touching you, dude. Like, what's wrong?" And then she's like, "Well, don't do it here." And I'm like, I think I started kissing her like on the cheek, right? And then we started kissing like,
It's like backstage.
no, like on the bleachers, and there were other people like kind of looking elsewhere, and I'm like, no, dude, nobody's even looking at us, right? And then it turns out that the camera of the show was actually filming us doing that.
Like close up or something.
Yeah.
Busted.
And then they meaning the show, when they came back to after commercial break, they said, so during our commercial break we caught this.
Wow.
And they just put it up there on the screen for everybody to see. And nobody had ever done that on the show before that very moment.
That was another thing. Like you keep bringing up these things that have never been done on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember seeing one episode, and I think it might have been that part where they like, oh, this has never happened on the show or something like that. It's like, dude, no wonder you were a big hit, dude. You're like breaking all the rules.
Well, thank you. And then I guess the showrunners were a little upset about it, but they ran with it, and then they just like kept calling us los besucones, the
kissers.
the kissers, and we were just kissing like on the show 24/7.
But like that was before y'all were like, they put you together, or how does it work? So like,
so me and her were already going out, before.
But the show is supposed to like make it official, or
yeah, and then so I basically had to kiss her in front of everybody in order for them to realize, hey, dude, this is a girl that I like at this moment. And then we basically engineered our way into the main title picture. And we were causing that controversy. It was like, oh, like they're kissing in this obscene way, and like we're just kissing, we're not like going all out, tongue twisting, but I guess they got annoyed because it was just all the time. Right. I got to know her parents. Great parents, a great experience, getting to know another culture, another Latino culture. And I learned how similar and how different we are, because I'm Mexican American, but I'm first generation Mexican American. My parents are from Monterrey. My mom's from Monterrey. My dad was from Diaz Ordaz, and he moved to Monterrey, but he was born he was raised in both places. Anyways, yeah.
So like back to like when you guys were kissing and doing that, and the show found out. You said there were other contestants that were after you guys. So like what, like were they pissed, or how was that?
Yeah. Some people didn't like that we were getting the attention that we were getting from the show.
Yeah.
I guess kind of, feel that from the get-go.
Yeah.
But I never saw that I was taking anything away. And I always thought that there were, and still are, dude, I always looked at other people and in astonishment, and I admired them, like a character named Casanova, Angel, Dario, and I'm like, these guys are so talented. They're so well spoken. My Spanish isn't that good. They're so entertaining, and they were so successful on that show. So I felt very what's the word, grateful to have have fun on the show while I was in a relationship. Right? It was broadcasted on television, and they made a show, no pun intended, a show out of our relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And we were really in love. We were very, very tight, me and this girl at that moment. We liked like the same things, the same movies, the same music, right? And she's a little older than me. At the time she was 31 and I was 25.
Okay.
And that was cool because I felt like I could relate to her more. I was raised with like my parents around me all the time, older people, and the salon, right, that you've been to, right, is a place that I would always hang out at, and it was always people that were in their 30s, 40s, 50s, So I got accustomed to that, and I would do impressions of my favorite movies, of their favorite movies, to their face, But yeah, that was my first relationship on the show. We got into a couple of fights, we came back, broken up. It was a big dramatic thing. We put that stuff under the bridge, right? That was a long time ago. I wish her well. And then I spent another season there, and then I got to know my other ex, Janelle.
So you were there for 2 seasons.
2 seasons and a quarter of a third.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What happened on the third? Why was it just a quarter?
Because I was with Janelle.
Oh, so from the second to the third one, you were with Janelle.
Yeah.
And then you guys split up, and then you have to leave the show, or?
No. Actually, we left the show together.
Oh, like on your own will?
Yeah. But we were in a relationship, and then you got to meet her. You got to meet her.
So you guys get in a relationship, and then you go back home, still together. Yeah. And then they follow up with you later.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
And we were together off the show maybe like, so we got off the show in February of 2023, and we broke up I think in September of that year. But we had already been together before that, since the September before. So we were together for a year. Yeah. Me and her were together for a year.
In New York?
In New York. Amazing.
How was that living it? Like, what part of New York? Like Brooklyn or Bronx? Or
Washington Heights.
Okay. Where is that? I don't know where that is. Like, where's it near?
So it's Broadway.
Okay. Like, what borough is that? There's Bronx, Brooklyn, Manhattan.
Washington Heights is across the bridge from the Bronx.
Oh, okay.
And it is across the bridge from New Jersey. Okay. The George Washington Bridge takes you to New Jersey.
So how was it living there in New York? What would you do? What were your favorite things to do over there?
Walk around a lot. I did theater for the first time in New York.
You had that job there.
Yes, I was working at SVA Theater.
Yeah, that's right.
And I was very thankful that Janelle was able to, help me get a job there at that theater. And the first event that I worked was to cover the promotion and the screening of Robert De Niro's About My Father. And I'm like, I don't think De Niro's going to show up, right? I don't think so. And I see, I'm there working as one of the ushers, right? And I'm looking at the entrance, right? And I see, the security lineup. I'm like, okay, this event's legit, right? And I see one famous actor come in. I think it was Sebastian Maniscalco, the comedian. I think that's his name. And then I see Chaz Palminteri walk in. And then I see Sam Rockwell walk in. He was about this high, with a green suit, green pants. He was very nice to me. Awesome to meet Sam Rockwell face to face. Very bizarre experience. And ordering popcorn from me. Chaz Palminteri is huge. As he looks in a Bronx Tale. You've probably seen Bronx Tale. And I'm like, I don't think De Niro's gonna come in. And then I see this man hunched over, right, looking away from everybody, come in this black suit and this dark blue shirt and black pants. And it was Robert De Niro. You know, he just walked in like right here, walked past me, right. And I was just thinking about my Tío Memín. I was like, oh, he just looks like my Tío Memín. You know, and I'm like, I'm thinking, okay, well, all the unrealness of Robert De Niro disappeared in that moment. And like, he's just a person, just
an old man,
you and me, you know, who's worked his whole life at his dream, and he just went into the Silas Theater or whatever theater he went into, or the Beatrice, because there's two theaters inside the SVA theater, auditoriums. My bad, and they did a screening for his movie, right? And then he walked back out. I saw him walk back out. Very bizarre experience, Eric. I saw Tracy Morgan. In his, cool. I don't know if it was a Lamborghini I think it was a Lamborghini. He was crossing. He was at a red light. He stopped at a red light. I was crossing the street, right? And he was at the red light, and I went like this to him. He was like, this Tracy Morgan face goes, what up? You know,
like with the top down too, right? Convertible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And he was so chill. And he went onto the George Washington Bridge into Jersey. I met Chaz Palminteri again and actually had a conversation with him. And I told him to his face, hey, you and me are going to make a movie one day. You know, and I wanted him to see this little project that I had in my hands. And he was like, oh, I can't. And I'm like, no, I get it. Don't worry. You know, I got to meet Catherine Arducci. I got to meet, who else did I get to meet? Not Barbara Walters, Martha Stewart.
What?
Standing in front of me, just as you are. And she came to the premiere of About My Father as well. And she picked up a bag of popcorn right in front of me, and I'm like, oh, this is one of my mom's favorite, you know, entertainers. Yeah, look, check this out. About My Father premiere. Check this out, Martha Stewart. Images. There she is.
Oh shit! Hey, she's in green too. Was that like the theme?
I think it was. I don't know, because she was
a green tracksuit,
just like Sam Rockwell. That's the About My Father premiere. And then here you can also see here Sam Rockwell was here. Sam Rockwell. Oh, there he is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
In green. In a baby barf green.
Yeah. It was, you know, very light energy, very healthy energy that he had when I met him. You know. But yeah, acting is something that I discovered that I liked at a later age, when I was like around 18 or 19. I always would do impressions in short films on YouTube, right, as a kid, right? As a lot of actors, you know, in my generation do, right? And then I think when I did my first 48-hour film race for DCFI, that's when I got the acting bug, you know. And from there on, you know, I just started, you know, just treating it a bit more seriously.
Yeah.
You know.
What do you think about the UFC right now and the fights going on? Who are some fighters that you like?
I really like watching, what's his name? Joshua Van.
Joshua Van?
At 125 pounds.
Oh, wait, is that like
he's gonna fight for the belt.
Flyweight?
Yeah, I think so, against Alexander Pantoja.
And
he's gonna fight him for his 125 pound belt.
Joshua Van, I haven't really heard of that guy.
He's a very boxing heavy fighter.
Another
Another guy that I would love to watch keeping in theme with boxing, Jack Della Maddalena.
Dude,
You know,
I thought he was gonna have more of a chance against Islam, but god damn, Islam. I mean, his plan never like doesn't work. It always works.
Yeah. I was wrong in my prediction. I thought Jack was gonna win because I saw footage of his really good scrambles, and his scrambles are great.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, I think that against a guy like Islam, you need to win the first fight, which is the feet, like on the feet fight, and the wrestling fight before you get to the ground fight. That's the second fight. You need to eliminate scrambles. Scrambles is almost like you're fighting a losing fight. Yeah. But if you can wrestle before you even get to the scrambles, counter wrestle, and you can keep it on feet, and you don't need to. You don't need a scramble. Yeah. You don't need it. You don't need that. And then I rewatched the footage of him against Burns or other guys that took him down easily. I was like, yeah, you know, it's going to be very tough against Islam because even if he can scramble, he's already lost the first fight, which is the wrestling fight, the control fight, you know, and he's going to be so heavy on top.
Yeah, and I feel like he did train, you know, defending takedowns and stuff, but it's so much different when you actually get in there with Islam. I think it was DC who said there's only two people that like can, you know, do what they want with me, and it's Khabib and Islam. And that's a light heavyweight and heavyweight champ. Fucking DC saying that. So, you know, poor welterweight division, man. They got and lightweight. Is he still the lightweight? It's lightweight and welterweight that he's
lightweight. Yeah, champion and welterweight champion in Islam. I think that right now Usman, 38 years old, shot knees. But with his wrestling base, we saw how he was able to defend Khamzat's at 185. So he'll be able to keep it on the feet, I think, against Islam and avoid having to do scrambles on the ground. Usman throws very straight punches, you know, very piston-like jab and a great cross that breaks jaws, right? And his jab breaks jaws too, and it breaks spirits. But he's 38. Yeah. Right. He's nearing 40. I don't think he's at his prime right now. And I think it would be a smart fight for Islam to take, to have that victory under his, you know.
Yeah, to beat Usman. Belt. And I think Usman would take it just for.
You think so?
I think Usman would definitely take that fight. You know, I don't think Islam will take the fight.
Oh, what do you mean take like win or that he's going to do it?
I don't think Islam will accept a fight against Usman. Okay. I think Usman will accept a fight against Islam because obviously that'll be a big payday. But Islam, I think that might be a downgrade to his legacy because of the trajectory he's at. I think Islam should fight Topuria. That would be a super fight, bro. And you know, I think Topuria even called him out or something, or they asked him about that. But I think that's the big mega fight to see who is the bad. Like, I mean, the BMF belt wouldn't be on the line, but that would be the fucking one of the baddest motherfuckers, you know.
Yeah, and I think Ilya reversing any sort of grappling attempt by Charles Oliveira in their fight, and you know, reversing it into like a sort of like a judo throw, right, and landing on top was a direct message to Islam's team and Islam. I'm like, all right, motherfucker, you know, like you want to wrestle, I can do that too, and knock you out. Yeah, so we all want to see that fight. Yeah, everybody wants to. That should be the main event of the White House fight card.
Ooh, that'd be a good White House card. I still think
great
it's
fights, amazing fights. It's gonna be the greatest card ever.
And forget about the Epstein files. There's a fight on the line.
They're eating the pets, eating all the pets.
The Islams, they're eating the pork. They're eating the bacon. They're not true Islams.
It's not true.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that would be an incredible fight. Those two, I think Islam would still beat Topuria. I think he's got he's got the bigger body.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if he can hold down DC
Or Jack.
Mm-hmm.
At
Exactly.
170.
Yeah, who's a better? I think he's a better boxer than Topuria.
Yes, he is. I would say Jack Della Maddalena has better angles, better fluidity.
Mm-hmm.
He's a greater combination puncher. But Topuria is like Tank Davis in boxing, where he's very confident on the front foot. He's very bladed, and he waits for his opportunity to strike. And he has a 1-2-3, right? And he'll knock you out. But I noticed that Topuria gets tagged a lot coming in. He stays on the line like a little too much. And like even in that finishing sequence against Max Holloway, he does a lot of things wrong, but he does just enough right in MMA to get the job done. And he has that power. And as long as he has that power and he has that good chin, he's going to get away with a lot of the things that he's been getting away with.
And I mean, Islam is no slouch when it comes to boxing too. I mean, even with the Jack Maddalena fight, he was holding his own with boxing and might have outboxed him.
Yeah. Or the Poirier fight too.
Yeah, because people are so thrown off by Islam and they're expecting the takedown, so they don't really box as much because they're looking to defend.
Right.
So and Islam knows that, so he boxes really well, and then as soon as they let their guard down and try and box back, boom, he goes for the takedown, and it's like,
he's got very good uppercuts that you just don't see. He's got very good body shots that you don't see. I saw it in the Poirier fight, and Volk, got a taste of his hooks because Volk tried to come in with this sort of like DDP switch stance, kind of like blitz. Yeah. And he got met with, I think, a left hook or a right hook. I don't remember what, but it wobbled Volk. Yeah. In their first fight. Yeah. And it's like, well, don't underestimate him. He's got hands. Yeah. And those are that same left or right hook that put down Charles Oliveira, right? In his fight with Islam. So he is a double threat, triple threat, right? He can knock you out with his legs, knock you out. So he can submit you. He could, knock you down, knock you out with his hands. Yeah. I think he's pound for pound number 2 or 1. Yeah. Islam right now.
And his next fight, I mean, he's tied for most or the longest win streak, right, with Anderson Silva. So his next, I'm sure Islam is itching to break that record and get his next. Who knows? He might want to fight Usman just to break the record.
Just to break the record.
Yeah, just to break. I mean, hey, that might be a smart move for Islam. For you know what?
Money and record.
Yeah, and the legacy, right? Yeah, you know what? Fuck it, fight Usman, Islam.
Fight Usman,
Fuck it, red panty night, dude. Easy money.
Red pan. It's red panty night when you're fighting with me.
Dude, you're fucking dude. You got everyone, dude.
Fucking Connor. What did he say? Everybody's trying to fucking be like me, dress like me. Horrible Connor impression, but.
Do you think he's gonna come back? Do you think he's been saying he wants to do
for like 3 years. He wants to come back, pobrecito. Big fan of his style, of his abilities, of his charisma, his entrepreneurial skills, obviously, right? But I think that he is a misunderstood fighter. And I think that a lot of people, he's an over-publicized, underrated fighter. Like for example, Steven Spielberg, in my opinion, is an underrated, overrated director. And I feel like a lot of people don't see a lot of like the subliminal things in his films that are genius sometimes, or they're very, oh, okay, I see what you did there, and then McGregor in a way is very ahead of his time. Like I feel like his fight with Floyd showed me all that I needed to see about how great he was in his prime. I feel like if he would have gone into boxing from 147 to like 168, he would have picked up some belts.
You think so?
Yeah, he could have beat up Broner. He could have beat up Maidana.
You think he would have beat them?
Yeah, I think.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think he was beating up Paulie Malignaggi.
Oh, well, yeah.
He was out of his prime, right? But that should not be happening.
I forgot about that.
Right. Yeah, a guy who's never had a professional boxing match should not be beating up a former champion, right? I think he would have had an interesting fight with Manny Pacquiao. Because the fact that he took away clearly 5 rounds from Floyd Mayweather, counterpunching the counterpuncher, anticipating the anticipation, and then beating him aggressively. It was kind of like the Zab Judah fight that Floyd had, where Zab was beating him, but then Zab got tired, right?
And that was the game plan for Floyd to get McGregor tired.
He saw the Diaz fight. Diaz did it first, and he was like, "I'm just gonna wait until he tires out."
Yeah,
his punches aren't gonna be that hard because he hasn't trained boxing punching technique as much as I have for the last 25 years. So I'm gonna wait for him to just tire out and take these shots. But he was beating him at his own game, the position play, and then the counters were just on point. I'm like, this guy's really talented, and the only guys that beat him were guys that nobody else was going to beat.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Khabib beat him, or they beat him under some sort of like circumstance where he was out of his element. 10 days notice at 170, Nate Diaz, right? Diaz is longer, right? He's got good boxing. He's got way better cardio, right? Maybe he's not as good of a striker as Conor, but he was going to tire him out because Conor's a famously bad gas tank.
Yeah.
And then he beat him in the rematch, right? But it wasn't like he beat him so badly that things were like clear. We always wanted to see a third fight.
Oh yeah, and even Dana White promised a third fight, and we, I feel like it wasn't like I feel like they had a contract for a third fight, which is why they kept saying, "Oh yeah, there for sure is gonna be a third fight." Like both, like Nate and Conor and Dana have all said there's gonna be a third fight, probably because it's contractually. But when the fuck is it gonna happen? Like, imagine they just drop it for the White House card. It'd be like, oh, fuck.
That's what would be the main event.
Yeah. Dude, that'd be sick.
No, and then Dustin beat him, right? But in my opinion, this is just my opinion, right? We all have our own opinions, and they smell. I thought he was out of his prime. Conor against Dustin in the second fight in 2021
when he like broke his ankle. That one
before that one.
Oh,
when he got knocked out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought he fought stupid, and he looked slow. He looked like he was sparring in there, and I'm like, why is he staying so much on the line? He's not using any of his kicks. He looks slow. If you look at the Khabib fight, he's kicking. If you look at the Nate Diaz fights, he was kicking. I think spinning back kicks to start off, the fight to push the fighters behind the black line. That was the first thing he did in the first Poirier fight, right? But in the second fight, he just comes in there like this, and he's like just trying to box with Poirier. I'm like, dude, you're gonna get killed. Like, I personally thought he was just checked out, and he just thought he was gonna win that fight easy. I'm like, no, dude, you're dealing with a problem. You're dealing with the diamond.
Yeah.
And the same thing with the third fight. I don't think he was there anymore, and I think at that point, Dustin was bound to beat him because he was just not in the game mentally. You
think like all the money and fame kind of got to him, and he kind of just like rested on his laurels a bit, and like I don't need to train as much, and like I got this,
Yeah, I think so. And that's something that's not to take away from Dustin's legacy, because he's got an amazing legacy, and he's one of my favorite fighters to watch. Who doesn't love to watch, a fucking junkyard dog who isn't going to quit like Dustin Poirier, who's put on some of the most entertaining fights ever, in MMA history. I love watching him.
What about the Anthony Joshua Jake Paul fight?
I just learned about it.
Oh my god.
Well, I think it'll last longer than the Ngannou fight because Jake has more boxing experience.
Yeah.
Right? If he makes, dude, if he lasts 12 rounds with Joshua, maybe it's gonna be 8 or 10. That's a win already for him, right? If Jake wins, I don't know. It'll look rigged. It'll look fake. Because I just don't. I wouldn't understand why he would win that fight. Like the technique, the skill levels are just so far apart. You're talking about a gold medalist in Anthony
Olympic
Joshua,
gold medalist,
former heavyweight world champion. You know, and then for him to lose against Jake Paul, you know, hats off to Jake Paul, right? He trains, he's disciplined, right? He's actually getting in there and getting the fights done. But he wanted to fight Tank, and I was like, "What, dude? Like
Canelo?
Like, why are you gonna fight a guy that's like way smaller than you?" And
well, that's usually who he's been fighting. He hasn't really fought anyone that's a lot bigger than him, except for fucking AJ now. But I'm just baffled why AJ would want to fight him. That's why I'm like, is AJ broke? Like, why is he?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think he's broke. I just think he's like, it's good money and it's easy, you know. And maybe
I hope he makes it look easy because that's what every fight Jake Paul has is like. We hope the other guy makes it look easy. And like, dude, the fucking Mike Tyson fight. Oh my god, dude!
I thought it looked fake.
It looked like Mike. Like, cause his training videos, I was like, oh my god, he's hitting the bag hard as fuck. Like he looks like he wants to murder Jake, and then he gets into the ring and he's like pitter patter. He's like scared to throw a punch. It's like, what the hell? Like, what happened? So I'm like, man, I don't know what to expect anymore. Anthony Joshua, you're still young. You have an incredible legacy.
Yeah.
You're the bigger guy. You're more like you. If he loses, I don't even know if I want to watch boxing anymore. Like this is, it's sad. It's sad.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there in his decision making, but I think that it is number one for money.
The money, yeah.
Number two, for him, it's going to be a feel-good experience. He's coming off of a bad knockout against Daniel Dubois.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Who just fought Usyk, but Usyk knocked him out. And that's the second time Usyk knocks Dubois out. Usyk right now is like the number one heavyweight in the world. He beat Fury twice. He beat Dubois twice. He beat Joshua twice. He's like lapping the division. Yeah. You know, I think he beat Derek Chisora already. I think the last guy he needs to fight is Andy Ruiz. my team.
You know what? I would not be surprised if Andy Ruiz fought like Jake Paul or Logan Paul. That would be a good fight for him to get back on his feet. But Anthony Joshua, like, bro, he's got so many accolades. Like, I don't know. I mean, it is the money, right? But Andy Ruiz needs to fucking advocate for one of those fights. I want to see that guy fucking win a fight again, you know, because he's got it. He's just, you know.
He's a great combination puncher. He's a very fast puncher.
I like to think Eddie Hearn and Al Heyman. Do it.
His voice. I want to thank my team: Al Heyman, Eddie Hearn, Anthony Joshua. You know, he's great. But it's not like Mike Tyson. I'm from Catskill, New York. I'm gonna fuck you up and fuck you.
I'm from Brownsville.
Fuck you. I'll fuck you till you love me. But he's Andy Ruiz. I think he's very underrated. I think he recently fought. He fought an old Chris Areola, you know. But then after that, he did fight another guy. I forgot his name. An African American boxer, but I forgot what his name is. But anyways, yeah. Andy Ruiz right now. I want to see him. He was gonna fight Wilder apparently.
Really?
Deontay Wilder. I'm down to see that fight.
Yeah, that'd be a real. What happened to Wilder? What happened to that guy?
Well, Wilder fought
Fury was the last guy, right? And then just like
he fought Fury. He lost to Fury in this great trilogy, right? But then he came back with kind of a couple of fights. He fought this Chinese boxer. He got knocked out by him.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and again, dude, like the guy was always goes out on his shield. I love watching his fights. He was an awesome champion, Deontay Wilder. But that's the last I heard. He was gonna make a fight against Andy Ruiz. You know, but I haven't heard any updates on that fight. But the fight that I want to see is what's his name? Brian Norman Jr. or something. Norman Jr. against Devin Haney.
Okay,
it's coming up.
Okay,
and then David Benavidez is gonna fight Anthony Yard
at
170. I think at 175 or 168.
And what's the Devin Haney fight? Like the weight class?
135.
Okay.
140. 140. Devin Haney came back earlier this year against, I think his name is something Gutierrez or whatever. His last name is, people clown on him for that performance because he still didn't, they don't think he redeemed himself from Ryan Garcia's beating.
Oh.
You know, and then this Brian Norman Jr. fight, you know, hopefully it's going to be another redeeming. Hopefully for him it's going to be a redeeming fight. But what people really want to see is the Ryan Garcia rematch.
Yeah,
you know, they want to see what he can do against the left hook that he was supposed to defend against in the first fight, but the first punch he gets hit with is the left hook. You know?
I can't believe Ryan Garcia pulled off all that like controversy and like gossip and rumors and like all this stuff just to be like, nah, I was bullshitting. Like afterwards, like what? Didn't he say he was like assaulted or something sexually? Like
I don't know. I didn't hear that.
He was like, remember everyone was like, oh, he's on drugs. Like he's doing like he's off, like he's drinking a lot, and like he was like posting all this stuff on social media, like, oh, I was sexually assaulted and blah blah blah. You don't remember that? No. Ryan Garcia, like everyone thought he was on drugs and he was like partying a whole lot, and people were like, what the fuck? Like he's posting crazy shit.
Well, I did see that he was posting crazy shit, right? That he was partying hard, being chisbotes. And he said that he was battling demons at the time.
Yeah.
Right. And you know, I didn't really like the posturing of Devin Haney and his team. They kind of had this like, oh, we're, you know, born to do this. We're very proper. We train. We're very disciplined, and all while wearing, you know, like Gucci suits and these Gucci glasses. You know, these like very like vapid, like ostentatious like gloves. You know, at press conferences, looking, you know, ridiculous, trying to act superior to Ryan Garcia. And I guess you could say it's to build up the fight, right?
Yeah.
But like his dad or him were saying that they were gonna kill Ryan Garcia. And I'm like, y'all were talking a bunch of shit like before the fight, and then, you know, you got knocked out. You know, and now they want to delete the footage. They're suing DAZN.
Oh, what?
They're suing DAZN for, you know, that footage of him that exists and that everybody has seen a million times of him getting knocked down. I don't know, a million times in one fight.
You know what it's called when you like try so hard for people not to know about something? It's called the Streisand effect.
Interesting.
So like the more you don't want people to see something, the more people are going to see it. And that's the result, the Streisand effect. Because Barbra Streisand, she had some sort of, I don't know, controversy or something, and she was like suing there's like some photo or something, and people were posting it and reposting it, and she was trying to sue everybody that was posting it. So everyone was like, oh, what are you suing about? Let's go find it. And more people saw it because she made a big stink about it. So it's like the bigger stink you make, the more people are going to want to see it.
Yeah.
So that's the Streisand effect. It's hilarious because it's like, you know, he's suing to not, you know, for it's not to be public, but then people are going to find it.
And I've noticed that if you start from zero in terms of public perception, usually there's only like what's the word? There's only room for improvement and not decline. So this sounds very general, but like let's say your first interaction with the public is, I did all these horrible things. I'm a horrible person. This is who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you just put out to the world the horrible things you did. Well, people are like, okay, well that's who he is, but he's not a liar. At least he's sincere.
Mm-hmm.
And there's only, well, I mean, to a certain extent, there's only room for you to grow.
Yeah.
In terms of public appeal or opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But if you start here and you lie to the public,
like you're an angel or something,
right? And there's only room for you to like fall.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point.
Notice that about people getting canceled nowadays.
Yeah.
What
was I gonna say? So when you're on that show, you got a lot of like, followers, notoriety. Like, did you have to deal with any like weird fans or like people harassing you or trying to like stalk you or like anything like that?
I have some interesting stories. So, weird fans, I'm going to tell you, fans, of the show, right? They were, criticizing everybody on the show, and everybody would get flack and criticisms.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't see that as a bad thing. I saw that as a good thing. Somebody took the time to talk about you, to say something about you.
Mm-hmm.
If you hate me, okay. If you don't like me, that's fine. You don't know me in person. But at that time, I was just happy to be with the girl that I was with at that time, right? And I wasn't really like focusing on anything else. But I had two weird fans. One fan that would harass me and my mom. When I wouldn't answer her phone calls, she started calling my mom, and she found my mom because she saw her and my dad in a photo on Facebook, and so she befriended them, and my mom accepted the friend request because my mom accepts friend requests from everybody. She's super nice, right? And then she started calling her, and she's like, "Oh, I'm a big fan of Nabil. I want to get to know him, and like, where is he? He's not answering his phone." He's like, "Oh, he's busy right now or something," and I'm super appreciative that I even had a fan in the first place. It's very flattering, amazing, humbling experience, right? But like, this person started to try to get into, like my personal life, and like stalking my online profile,
your family,
and my family, and my mom had to block her because she would constantly call her. She would constantly call my mom. Is Nabil there at home yet? Is Nabil on the show right now? Is Nabil on a flight right now? I keep calling him. Yeah. And so that was one fan, and our whole family blocked, unfortunately, this person.
So what was like her deal? Was she like trying to date you? Did she just want to talk about the show?
I'm a big fan of you, Naveen. I like you. I think you're really cool. I'm like, dude, thank you. Like, I really appreciate that. That support, like, that's badass, man. Like the good vibes. But it was just the constant, where are you right now? Why aren't you picking up your phone? I'm like, dude, I don't know you. Like, we're not, that friendly, right? As I would say to anybody, like I don't see myself as a celebrity. I just see myself as just regular old Nabil. Somebody walks up to me and says, "Hey, I saw you on the show." I'm like, dude, that's badass. Thank you. I appreciate it. We loved you on the show. We didn't like you on the show. I'm like, hey, you saw it. If you got some sort of entertainment out of it, I'm happy, or I'll get, I've gotten hate, like through comment sections or messages before.
How do you deal with the hate?
I say that it's part of the show. It's part of being, out in public, on Instagram. I mean, to me, it's nothing. You know, it's I think it's a positive thing.
Mm-hmm.
If they're not talking about you,
Mm-hmm.
then you haven't made enough noise.
Mm-hmm. That's a good way to put it.
Maybe, right? Maybe. It's not that I'm trying to make noise in that regard. It's
You don't want the hate, right?
Right. You know, I don't want my family harassed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hate me, right? Harass me, right? But just don't harass my family members. But what was I gonna say? The second fan.
Mm-hmm.
They were more fucked up about it because they got a fake profile of me posing as me, and then they befriended one of my friends that was already on my friends list on my actual account, and then they asked that person out.
Oh,
As if it was Nabil asking them out. And they got that person in a call, right? And then they're like, hey, like, it's Nabil, like, I want to go out with you. And this person was like, I don't believe you, like, not like Nabil, like, I know you're not gay. And there's nothing wrong.
Wait, they were trying to hook up with a guy.
It was a guy fan. It was a guy fan that would use deep fake. And make videos of himself with my face on his face.
My God, dude, I want to see that.
Yes.
Do you have any?
My mom should have it.
Oh my God, I need to see that.
And he would use the deep fake, and he would post videos of himself doing deep fakes of me, and I'm like, I guess it comes with the territory you're doing it. And I thought it was funny, and flattering, right? A little uncomfortable, but whatever, dude. I'm like,
I mean, that's very uncomfortable.
You know.
So he was trying to pick up guys.
He was trying to pick up guys posing as me using a fake account. If anybody's listening to this, you know, podcast, and if you're gay, I don't care, dude.
No, yeah, but like it's just
right
using deep fakes.
Mm-hmm.
That is nuts. That's crazy, dude. So what happened with that? Did you talk to the guy? Did you tell him to stop? Did you block him? Or
my mom was the person that was in contact with him at that time.
So they all go through your mom?
Yeah.
Like,
it's like she's the target. Like they're trying to use her as a way to have get access to me. Right? Yeah. And poor mom, right, has to put up with this shit.
She probably loves it though. All the fans.
She was very in tune with what was going on. She was having fun. She appeared on the show.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Well, both your parents, right?
Both my parents appeared on the show. They went to the set and they were on the show. And then they went. And then Enamorándonos and Univision came to my house and they filmed at my house. And Janelle was there. Janelle met my family for the first time. It was a very beautiful experience. But. Yeah, those are the two weird fan experiences that I had, from Enamorándonos.
Mm-hmm. Do you still get people talking to you about the show, or like when you going to go back on and blah blah?
Yeah, I mean the show right now is done, and until they get another contract, there's a lot of demand for that program. On Unimas, it was the #1 show, and it was one of the biggest shows that Univision has. Maybe it's the biggest one that they have, right? And right now they're, I think, in process of getting another contract, because this contract is still running, and for whatever reason they couldn't meet eye to eye with I guess financial production requirements with the studio. Enamorándonos with Univision or Unimas, maybe they had some kind of disagreement, and so they're gonna, I guess, still negotiate the contract within the coming year. But sorry, what was your question again?
If the fans still talk to you,
yes,
if they
do.
Still wonder about the show.
Yeah, I see people coming up to me, and they're like, "Hey, Nabil," or they'll be like, "Hey, are you Nabil from Enamorándonos?" I'm like, "Yes, I am." Like, "Can I take a picture of you?" I'm like, "Absolutely, man. That's amazing. Like, you even remembered me being on the show." Like, we would watch you, and we would laugh with you, and sometimes we would laugh at you, and I'm like, "Dude, I don't care." It's just fun.
Yeah.
You know, it again, it was a privilege just to be on television.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to do all those crazy things. You know.
Have you thought about trying other shows, auditioning for other shows?
No. Right now, I'm just work minded, doing short films here and there, and then my own project that I've been cooking in the back burner that nobody knows about.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you not want anyone to know even now?
Even now.
Okay.
You'll see what that one's about. That one is a serious project.
Okay.
You know.
Hey, I'm down.
Yeah, I want you to be in it.
I'm down to help
when it's cooked.
Okay.
But I do want you to be in it.
Okay.
And it's a project. I don't want to say anymore.
No. Okay. Yeah. Save it.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think about aliens? Do you think that shit's real?
I do think aliens are real, and I think we're aliens as well. You know, to other human beings. Sorry, to other entities, sentient beings.
Okay.
In the universe, we just haven't developed the technology that's sophisticated enough to take us to those other entities or to those other living beings and out in the universe. You know, that's what I think. I think they exist.
I think you're right about that too. I rarely think about that perspective, how we are the aliens to them, and they come. I think they come and visit us. I think they come and visit us, but I think they see us as like cattle. I think they see us as like, oh, we should like mate these two beings together. Let's abduct it and take some DNA samples and have them mate together and create like these hybrids and stuff like that.
Mutants like fire in the sky.
Dude, yes, dude. That. Yeah. Have you seen Communion?
I have not. What is that?
Communion is it's with fucking Christopher Walken.
Okay.
He's like a writer, and he's like vacationing at like a cabin with his family, and he gets abducted by aliens.
Okay.
But his character, like, you know how Christopher Walken, he's just like,
I'm a writer, and I got abducted by aliens.
No, yes, like I'm watching the movie, and I'm like, why is he acting like that? Like he's like
just beat himself.
He's just like, wow, like, but it's like so like.
Is it Walken-esque?
Yes.
Okay.
But it's like one of the first alien movies that kind of sparked a lot of people to come out and be like, when I saw that movie Communion, and when the gray alien comes out, people were like, that's exactly what I saw when I was abducted. So that's like a big movie that a lot of abductees reference when they're interviewed and stuff, because I guess for some reason, like they really knew how to depict a gray alien. And even in the same movie, they show the gray alien, and then once he gets abducted, he's like taken by like these like in Star Wars, I think they're called Ewoks.
The Ewoks, yeah.
They're like these short, brown, like wrinkly, like these little beasts. And that's what is like grabbing him and taking him. So there's like the little Ewoks, and then there's like the gray big eye aliens in the movie. So like there's already like multiple species and races in the movie, and people talk about like, oh, the wrinkly ones. I've seen the wrinkly ones. So it's like, whoa, like there's so many species and races throughout the like galaxies and all that.
They are resonating with it because they lived it. And that movie captured something that is real. I've never had an experience like that, but we've all seen some sort of unidentified object, flying object at night, or some kind of figure.
I've never seen a UFO. I've never seen an alien or anything moving.
I never saw it up close, right? But I saw something that moved weird when I was very young, and I'm like, they didn't have drones back then like that, that moved at that pace, that had these weird lights, or maybe they did. I don't know, but it just looks so unnatural. It looks, no pun intended, alien. So what's
made you like definitively believe that like aliens are real?
Well, that's just the fact that there are So the universe is expanding, right? And it's such a vast place with so many galaxies, planets, and possible scenarios for life forms to arise. I think it's not completely unreasonable to assume that other places can have habitable scenarios for life to grow.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I think that it's very possible that there's other life removed from this galaxy. Maybe it's in this very galaxy. It hasn't revealed itself to us yet.
Do you think they're on Earth? Do you think they visit us, or do you think they're like here now? They live with us. Do you think they only visit? Do you think they only go to like the Mars and Moon, or like what do you think?
It's very possible that they are with us right now in this very room, living and breathing in another dimension that we can't perceive.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in a metaphysical way, they're watching us all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Not to get spooky, right? But
Yeah.
I think that's very possible that they see and they can inhabit and they can manipulate that part of reality that we can't,
Mm-hmm.
right? Apparently, we only see the two dimensions, right?
Mm-hmm. The three.
They say two, so three, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That just proves that there's 4 after 3, and there's 5 after 4, and 6 after 5. So, yeah, I honestly believe that too. I think there's
3 dimensions. Yeah, my bad. You're right.
But no. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, I believe that too. I think there's dimensions we can't perceive and experience and visualize,
Mm-hmm.
and these beings are so advanced, and there's so many stories of them just appearing and disappearing out of thin air, and I think even humans are capable of or accessing these dimensions too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people who have had near-death experiences, like getting in a nasty car accident, or like a lot of times it happens to people during surgery, where they're giving too much anesthetic, and they die.
Technically die.
Yeah, their heart stops, and their body or their soul leaves their body, and they can see themselves like in the hospital room, and then they move on to like an afterlife, and they meet so-called like gods or whatever, and or even like alien type beings, and get shown the future and get shown what the afterlife is, and get shown their past lives.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people claim that too, that reincarnation is real, and that our soul is infinite, and it gets recycled through bodies to learn
Mm-hmm.
experiences and to learn relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So I like looking into that, the near-death experiences.
Endlessly fascinating and it's scary because, again, we go back to Stanley Kubrick, right? That's so scary about the universe. It's not that it's hostile, but that it's indifferent, and that it is infinite and vast and so much bigger than us. But yeah, my mother, when she had, I think, her second baby, it was a miscarriage, and she almost died in the hospital. Well, actually, no, she did die in the hospital. She died technically, according to the doctors, and she remembers seeing doctors and nurses that she didn't meet before she died. Does that make sense?
Yeah. She didn't know them.
She didn't.
Or never seen them before.
She had never seen them before she died, right? She met a couple of doctors and nurses, right? In that same room where she died, right? But while she died, other nurses and other doctors came in with, specific clothing, color and specific colors, and they moved objects that she could not have seen because she was dead, but she saw what was going on in the room because she says she could see everything while she was dead from above in the ceiling, and she saw those people that she never met in that room, according to her.
Mm-hmm.
And then when she died, she felt one of the most beautiful feelings ever of euphoria, of just complete peace and rest that she had never felt before in her entire life before that. Just take in mind, this is a woman that had lived 30 plus years of life up until that point. I think she had already had my brother, but she felt so at peace. And like, if she were to actually have like carried out her death, if she would have just, not come back, she was like, I would have felt great, Naveen, and just continued there. But I also felt at the same time that it wasn't my time, and for whatever reason, God or whatever entity, right, decided it, I have to go back, for whatever reason in this universe, she came back, whether it's God, whether it's, the laws of the physics or her health, right? I don't know. I believe in God, but sometimes I also feel agnostic, right? And I question everything, right? But yeah, my mother has had that.
Wow.
That experience. I've never had that kind of experience before.
That's really interesting because
out of body.
A lot of people, like I was saying, the near-death experience stories that I've heard, a lot of people say that there's this peace and like feeling of unconditional love and like feeling like you're home, and it gives people a lot of peace for death, because they understand, hey, it's not bad after you die, and it's gonna be okay. And that's crazy. I didn't know that happened to your mom, man. Wow.
Yeah, so she's touched death once, and then almost touched it again a couple of weeks ago when that unfortunate event happened to her, that unfortunate bacterial infection. But she is my number one fan in any pursuit of mine, in acting and in directing and writing. She introduced me to all my favorite actors, and then I introduced her to actors that became her favorite actors. And I introduced her to movies that she didn't like, and then she started liking them. She didn't like Boogie Nights or Eyes Wide Shut.
Really?
When they first came out, and then she's, es una película que está muy obscena.
Obscene.
Sí, es muy sexual.
Yeah.
And then I showed her Boogie Nights again, and she's like, that's a really great movie. And now my mom and dad watch Boogie Nights all the time. It's one of our
love that
favorite
movie.
movies.
That's one of my like date movies. Like, well, when I was younger, when I was like in my 20s and like had like my own apartment, I'd like bring girls over, or like a girl, like I'm on a date and like, hey, you want to like watch Boogie Nights and drink and hang out and smoke, and it's just such a fun movie, right? It's like let loose, do whatever you want.
I think it's one of the best films ever made. And Eyes Wide Shut, I think that the very obviously perplexing and mysterious part of that film, Eyes Wide Shut, is like all the occult and elitist imagery, symbolism, and characters. But at the heart of it, it is a movie about insecurity and jealousy. And I'm not mentioning anybody, right? But I've lived what Tom Cruise lived in that movie to an extent, which is to live with a jealous, insecure partner. When I was growing up, I thought that the Tom Cruise character was the villain of the film, the fake one. And to an extent, he is fake and he is flawed. But then, if the very first thing that happens in the film, he asks, honey, have you seen my wallet? Isn't it on the bedside table, right? And then he goes into the bathroom where she's peeing and he's fixing his hair. It's a very real couples moment, right? You never really see a woman on a toilet in a couples movie, right? Or a romance movie. It's not a romance movie, but it's a movie about a couple.
It is a romance movie
in a way, right?
Yeah, it is. I think a lot of people would say that. Yeah,
right. In a way, and And the first thing that she asks him is, you know, how do I look? And he says, you're beautiful. You're always beautiful. And then she says, you're not even looking at me. And, you know, but he says, I don't need, he's saying that he doesn't even need to look at her because he knows, right? But she's asking for his validation, and she didn't get it from him. And then they go out, and they're at this party where she sees an opportunity to make him jealous, to make him react. Yeah. And then starts talking with Sandra Savos, the Hungarian.
She gets like real drunk, right? She
gets real drunk and tipsy to the point of almost kissing him. Yeah. Right. You know, and Tom Cruise is talking with these girls, right? These two models, right? And I feel like they're really talking to him, and they're trying to fuck him. And he obviously sees them as very attractive, but he's respectful. He doesn't get as tipsy as she does with the Hungarian. He doesn't get tipsy at all. He doesn't get drunk at all. And then they try to take him away and fuck him. And, you know, he's like, let's go where the rainbow ends. He's like, where is that? Where the rainbow ends. Don't you want to go where the rainbow ends? And that depends where that is. Well, let's find out. And then, you know, he looks like he's not going to do it. Yeah, yeah. Right, I think so. And then he gets taken away by Ziegler's assistant. But, you know, he helps Ziegler out of a situation, and then he comes back home with his wife, and then you see that he has to deal with naked female, you know, patients, you know, because he's I think a general health doctor, right? And you see that some of his patients show him his breasts or full body, and that's what she's thinking about. That he's cheating on her, right? Well, he's, you know, having this access to women all day, naked women all day, right? And then he gets home and she lays it on him.
She's like smoking a joint, right?
Smoking a joint, yeah. You know, and then who were those girls that you were with? And, oh, it's just a couple of models. And I'm like, come on, dude, what kind of answer is that? And then he's like, so who was that guy that you were with? And she's like, it's some guy just was trying to fuck me. He's like, he's just trying to fuck my wife, and that's very understandable. And she's like, why? Because you were very beautiful. And then she's like, so the only reason that you would want to talk to me, that why any man would ever want to talk to me, is because they want to fuck me? Is that what you're saying? And he's like, no, you know. And then they get into the argument, and she tries to make him jealous by telling him about the naval officer. Yeah. And that is the inciting incident that results in the rest of the movie, which is his revenge, his get back.
Because she cheated on him, right? She like talks about when she
almost cheated on him.
Almost cheated on him.
Right. I would have given up everything. I would have. Yeah. That movie is always about almost. Yeah. You know, there's always an interruption. He's going to fuck the prostitute, but then his wife calls him, right? What are you up to? Right. There's always a ruse. There's always a fake thing that's going on. Like, for example, when he gets a call from this woman whose father just died. The guy's name's Lou Nathanson. He shows up to the apartment. Why does he need to show up? The guy's dead.
Oh, yeah.
Why? Because the woman wants to take this as an opportunity to have sex with him, or to tell him that she likes him. Get him alone. That's the best opportunity, right? And no one would ever suspect. Her husband wouldn't suspect it as an inappropriate thing, because he's the doctor.
He's on call.
Declare the death of her father, right? Yeah. But she could have just honestly just called somebody else. I don't know, taken him to the hospital or whatever. But yeah, that movie is I think at the heart of it is about Nicole Kidman's character's insecurity and her fantasies. And I think that a lot of the things that you see that are shown in the third person, like things that Tom Cruise does, are simultaneously things that she's seeing in her head, but things that are also happening in real life. In Tom Cruise's life, you know.
Yeah.
Because the things that she imagines are things that are like when a filmmaker shows the shot of a close up of a character imagining something, right, and then it cuts to the thing that they're imagining. Well, in Eyes Wide Shut, I think Kubrick does that, but in a really subtle way, where it'll be a shot of Nicole Kidman and her daughter wrapping up presents, and then it cuts to what Tom Cruise is doing at his office, which is being with naked women, right? And in a way, if you look back at the film, it's like that's what she's seeing in her mind at that moment. But it's not doing it in this traditional way where it's like cutting to a close-up of her head and she's closing her eyes and she's thinking about what her husband is.
I see what you're saying.
Thinking of, and she knows how valuable her physical appearance is, because the beginning is the first thing that you see is her dress goes down, right? And then when Tom Cruise shows up to the mansion, you see all these women around in a circle, and the dress goes down, right? But it's like what they were hiding, and then like what they had to unveil, and then it cuts to black, Eyes Wide Shut, right? It's like saying like look away, don't look at this. It's a forbidden fruit. In a way, there's a sort of allusion to the devil or temptation.
Yep.
Right. Close your eyes. Look, this is the temptation. And in Kubrick's work, there's always this allusion to Jesus Christ. Alex DeLarge and his three droogs, right? The three Jesus.
Oh yeah, the
figurines,
figurines, yeah.
Right. And this is my opinion, Eric. I'm gonna say something that's pretty crazy. Okay?
Let me hear it.
This is pretty crazy. So this is my opinion. I think that there is an allusion to Christ in 2001: A Space Odyssey. This is the most unreligion movie possible, right? Because it's about evolution, right? But in Genesis, la tierra estaba desordenada y vacía. The land was empty and disorganized. And the first thing you see in the dawn of man is that the earth was disorganized and empty. There was really nothing, right? And so then when the apes come in contact with them, I'm not saying that Kubrick believes in Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I'm saying that there's an allusion to the Bible or Jesus. When the like monolith lands into the ground, right? Inert monolith, it looks like a cross. It looks like this thing that you can hang a person on. And then all the apes are surrounding the monolith the way that the people around Jesus Christ were when he, was crucified.
Yeah.
And then all the human beings afterwards come to believe and to worship all the things that are shaped like the monolith. Like all the screens that Dave Bowman and Gary Locke would look at, it's shaped like this, it's a rectangular shape, right? And they worship technology, and technology has become a part of their everyday life. It's not that you use technology uses you. It's ubiquitous to the air that you breathe, and I think some other filmmaker said that. But in 2001: A Space Odyssey, you have the 220 aspect ratio, right? It has this rectangular aspect ratio like the monolith. And the first thing that you see in the film is the black screen, right? When your eyes are wide shut, right? And it's like you're inside the monolith, right? And then the music cuts off, right? And then you see the lion, or the MGM lion, and then you see the sun come out from behind the moon, right? And you're enlightened, right? From the darkness, your eyes are wide open at that point. They're not shut anymore, right? And the way of God or Jesus Christ is the way of the light, or the way of what's the word? Enlightenment, right? And so One of the craziest things, and I don't think it's beyond Kubrick, is that, you know, when he presents a monolith, it's presented in this way, in this rectangular, vertical way. But the screen that you're watching the movie on is horizontal like that. So when you, in my opinion, this is fucking crazy, right? But when you put the monolith and the screen together like that,
oh, yeah, okay, I see what you're saying.
It looks like a fucking cross.
I see what you're saying.
And then at the ending of the movie, where Dave Bowman is sleeping on a bed and in Eyes Wide Shut, he makes a reference to 2001: A Space Odyssey. When he sees the old man, Tom Cruise goes to see the old man dead, and his daughter there wants to make out with Tom Cruise, right? And the man's on this deathbed.
Oh.
It looks like another reference to 2001: A Space Odyssey. The ending of A Clockwork Orange is another reference to 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Alex on the bed.
Alex on the bed, right? And then completely emasculated, right? Completely just like inert, right? When Dave Bowman escapes the room, he escapes through the monolith, right? To take him to the next stage of evolution. And the camera goes into the monolith like this, horizontally into something vertically. And when that happens, you create a cross.
Yeah.
Right? And then like when Dave Bowman, I remember very clearly when he's going through the Stargate sequence, he sees things vertically first, right? And then they change horizontally. They change vertically and then change horizontally, right? So he's fucking with your axis perception.
Yeah.
Kubrick, the greatest filmmaker before and after him. No one has beaten him. No one. I don't see anybody beating him.
Yeah, I mean, also no one pushes filmmaking, and I mean back then, like I mean, like Kubrick was using practical effects, right? But at the same time, he pushed it by using CGI. He was one of the first guys to use CGI, and I think he got an Academy Award for CGI, right? Or graphics or something, right?
Kubrick got an award for special effects for 2001: A Space Odyssey.
The special effects.
The same, but the man who was really the creator of those special effects, right? The technician behind them, and he had some creative input. I think he goes by the name of, check this out, Blade Runner Special Effects. The same guy that did the special effects for Blade Runner did the special effects for 2001: A Space Odyssey. Douglas Trumbull. Douglas Trumbull did, the special effects for 2001, but Kubrick got the Oscar for the special effects.
Oh,
yeah,
wow,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
But really, like the technician, right? And he had some creative input on the special effects was Douglas Trumbull, but the film is directed by Stanley Kubrick. So at the end of the day, it's his say. This, I don't like this. Change it. Okay. Make this a little bit better, but I want something a little bit different. Okay, I like that. Keep that. Okay, cut that out. And of course, Kubrick had to, obviously had his own creative input into the special effects, but Douglas Trumbull, in my opinion, should have also gotten credit and should have probably gotten that Oscar. And Kubrick maybe should have gotten the Oscar for best film. That year, and Douglas Trumbull should have gotten more recognition and for his effects on Blade Runner and like other films as well that he created for that Douglas Trumbull should have gotten credit for other films that he did special effects for. But I think there are a lot of actors, Eric, that I admire that people don't talk about anymore, that I think are the greatest actors ever. And I think that there are certain actors. Here's where I'm gonna get some flack. This is my unfiltered opinion about certain actors, and people might think that I'm stupid for saying this, but I have my opinions on certain actors, and on everything, right? But I think that Marlon Brando is one of the greatest actors of all time, and I don't think that's disputable. You can't dispute
Yeah,
that.
I don't think that's
But
mm-hmm.
I think, in my opinion, that Marlon Brando was an actor that got better. Obviously, everybody gets better, but he's an actor that very clearly got better from his first performances. Like, people always say that and the reason why I mention this is because that should give more actors confidence, or artists confidence, that not all your favorite artists don't always start great or perfect
and then get better.
Yeah. Right? In my opinion, from what I saw in his audition in Rebel Without a Cause, he was a very green actor. He did all the acting 101 mistakes that any actor that's starting out does, right? Forcing the emotion, not giving enough emotion, planned gestures, fake crying instead of like just you're actually crying, right? I've made these mistakes, and I'm going to continue making these mistakes as an actor, dude. This isn't just, I'm not saying that I'm good or great or anything like that. Like, I consider myself an amateur, and I'm still learning to this day, and I'm going to continue to make mistakes. And in my opinion, of his era, unfortunately, Marlon Brando's, great works and his aura cast a great shadow over people like Paul Newman and Montgomery Clift and James Dean, and they were thought of as disciples. And yes, they were influenced by Marlon Brando, but their very individual work wasn't really, in my opinion, appreciated for how great it was. And in my opinion, James Dean's first 3 and only 3 movies, Giant, Rebel Without a Cause, which Marlon Brando didn't get, James Dean got it, and East of Eden, are all masterpiece performances. He plays an old man in Giant. He plays a young kid in Rebel Without a Cause. He plays a rebel, another rebel in East of Eden, a rebellious brother. But my point is that guy was like a Mozart when he first started in acting on film. He had acted with Ronald Reagan on TV before James Dean, right? Done some theater work. But I think that there were great actors before Marlon Brando and after Marlon Brando. For example, if you see the original Scarface, right? The protagonist played by Paul Mooney, one of the first chameleons. And then you see people from the 70s, actors from the 70s, like, I was so inspired by Brando and his improvisation and his versatility. I'm like, dude, Paul Mooney in the 30s was doing that with Scarface. James Cagney was the original, gangster actor. Edward G. Robinson. These were the fools, that inspired the guys like Brando. And then what do you know? I saw an article recently where Brando was talking with Coppola. He's like, their favorite actor was Paul Mooney. I'm like, all right, dude. Like, I see what you're stealing from. I see what you like. Because I like Paul Mooney too. I'm like, that guy's a shit. Like, that guy was like, he was balls to the wall, real, and he was just a fucking genius. And then people don't talk about Sean Penn anymore. And
Sean Penn is great. Yeah,
that guy he's a fucking master of his craft. People don't talk about Mystic River anymore. They don't talk about Carlitos Way,
Fast Times at Ridgemont
High.
I love that movie.
Spicoli. I just got it on Blu-ray.
You did?
Yeah,
dude, I have the Fear and Loathing down there on the Blu-ray. Or no, you gave me it was Blu-ray, right?
Yes, sir.
Because I also have there's like an HD version where it's like
DVD, yeah,
HD DVD, something like that. It's like in a red box,
right?
You know how the Blu-ray's in the blue box. It's like this one's like a red one. Like,
Blu-ray, they won that battle.
Yeah,
they won that battle.
Yeah.
But Sean Penn and Carlitos Way playing Davy Kleinfeld, which inspired Ken Rosenfeld's character in Vice City, the corrupt lawyer.
Okay.
Yeah, the corrupt lawyer. His performance in At Close Range with Christopher Walken. His performance in fucking Sweet and Low Down by Woody Allen. Dude, Sean Penn, he just came out with a banger in One Battle After Another with DiCaprio, the new
I haven't seen
Paul
that.
Thomas Anderson movie.
What? When did that come out?
Like a month and a half ago.
I haven't heard of that.
Dude,
Wow.
you're gonna love it. If you love Boogie Nights, if you love Magnolia or There Will Be Blood, you're gonna love. Did you see Inherent Vice?
Yeah, I was.
If you liked Boogie Nights, or Paul Thomas Anderson, you'll like.
Maybe I need to watch Inherent Vice again because I mean, I would have thought I was gonna love that movie, because the growlers are in it. There's like this really badass shot where it's supposed to look like the Last Supper, and they had this long table and like a ton of food on it, and just all these hippies just kind of like sitting on the table and like about to feast. And it's the growlers. It's the whole band, and it's a cool like 70s movie, right? It takes place in the 70s or the 60s?
Yeah, the 70s. I think late 60s, early 70s. Yeah. I've only seen it one time.
But yeah, I saw it one time, and I don't know, it was like too slow, too like aimless. Like to me, it didn't really have a plot, so I like lost interest like really quick. I only kind of like looked for the growler scene, and I was like, okay, cool. And then the rest of the movie was like, I didn't like he was like a retired like detective, right, or something like that. But I was like, what is the point of this? Like he's just kind of like lounging around, like I don't know, but this new Paul Thomas Anderson movie,
One Battle After Another. Okay. Look, I think what's his name, the main character of Training Day is not Denzel Washington, it's Ethan Hawke. But because I think Denzel Washington's performance is just so magnetic, and his character was so well written. Not that Ethan Hawke's character wasn't, and not that his performance wasn't great, because I think that's a very underrated performance. Ethan Hawke's performance in that film, his little mannerisms, his little anxiety, his fear, the way he portrays fear in that movie is very good, and the way he portrays bravery, Ethan Hawke. But anyways, Denzel Washington is the supporting character in that film, but he got elevated to the Best Actor nomination that year, and he won it.
Wow.
Yeah. And then in The Godfather, right? In my opinion, I think the main character is Michael Corleone, Al Pacino's character, not Vito Corleone, Marlon Brando. He dies like, I think 75% or 70% into the movie, and then the rest of the movie is Michael Corleone. I always thought it was about his arc, his change.
Yeah.
Pacino's character. But Brando's presence and his performance is so towering. And again, not that Pacino's isn't. He was nominated for an Academy Award. That he was elevated to Best Actor nomination, and victory, he won the award. Right, and they were. I think they were both nominated for this. I might be wrong.
Is that where Brando let that Native American girl take his place?
Sasheen Littlefeather, and I think this year, Eric, we might see the same thing. Sean Penn, was the supporting character in One Battle After Another. DiCaprio was the main character, the protagonist. I think Sean Penn might get elevated to Best Actor.
Wow. Over DiCaprio?
Because he stole, in my opinion, that movie. Every scene he was in.
What is it called again?
One Battle After Another. He plays an army. He plays a colonel. Colonel Lockjaw. I think Lieutenant Lockjaw, I think his name is. And he's obsessed with this one black girl who is Leonardo DiCaprio's wife. And he loves being tortured by her, and having these private dates where she does these fulfills his fantasies. And on the outside and his exterior, he's a very controlling, dominant, militant man, but like behind closed doors, she controlled him. You know, so I think that alone is such an interesting, you know, what's the word?
Dynamic. Oh yeah.
Right. No, that too. You should really check it out. You know, and I thought it was a fun movie. I really enjoyed it. One battle after another, but I think Sean Penn, right? Because we have a lot of actors today that are really celebrated of our generation, right? But then I'm like, okay, those actors are good, but like, have we forgotten how great Russell Crowe is? Have we forgotten how great Sean Penn is? And yeah, I know Kevin Spacey got canceled, but he's one of the GOATs. Mm-hmm. Kevin Spacey is the shit.
I mean, the House of Cards show alone.
Sir.
That show,
yeah,
was so good.
Yeah, because see, Kevin Spacey can do it all. He can be funny. He can do impressions, right? He can play different people other than himself. He can sing.
American Beauty. Oh my God, dude.
Yeah, it's an Oscar where you don't see the acting, and you don't have to have a scene where a character is bawling or crying their eyes out, and it's like it's understood. It is an Oscar performance. You don't need it. You don't need to debate it. Like he's gonna win.
Like if they can embody the character, I think that's the most important part. And executing that, like what you're saying, instead of like the crying and the like the over top, things. If they can embody the character and understand the character and execute the character, that's like.
Because obviously, crying on command or any sort of emotionally demanding scene is demanding, right? And it's hard to do. But accuracy of character, right? Like, oh, wow, like that's such a true thing that he just did there. That little mannerism that he did, or the way he said that thing, it's like, or his little reaction is his eye movements. Like, that's very touching, because that's something that we've all seen from a character like that in our lives. And that's why we say, oh, that guy should win the Academy Award, because that's so accurate to real life, right? And Kevin Spacey is so what's the word, flawless in anything that he's ever done. I don't know. I mean, Seven was amazing.
7, dang! I forgot about that.
Seven, The Usual Suspects, where he fakes being a cripple, and he gets away with murder and robbery, and all these other things, fraud. But Kevin Spacey is one of my favorite actors. Who are some of your favorite actors that you think are like underrated? Like nobody talks about them.
I don't know. I don't really think about that too much. Like how I do with music. Like with music, I'm very about that. Like, oh yeah, these guys. They don't really talk about. But with actors, I don't know. I just kind of, whoever I like, or if I see a good movie, then I like the movie. I don't know. But who do you think, like who are some like newer actors now that you think are like really good or have like potential, or like what do you think? Who are like some new guys?
I really love watching Barry Keoghan, the protagonist of Saltburn.
Dude, I think Killing of a Sacred Deer. I think he is a force to be reckoned with. I think that what's his name? The guy that came out in, what's the name of that movie? Oh my goodness, why am I forgetting his name? He's been around for a while. Monster. He played Ed Gein. Charlie Hunnam from Sons of Anarchy. Okay.
Yeah, he just came out with that one where he plays a completely different person from himself. No, he has a voice that speaks like and sounds like this. And mother always mistreated me and told me that I wasn't good enough, and no one else would love me but her. And he was amazing in that show. Monster, check it out. He plays a serial killer. The
It's a
famous
show?
Ed Gein. Yes, it's a miniseries on Netflix. It's like 7 episodes. It's like 7. I think it's like 8 episodes, something like that. You're gonna love it. It's like addicting from the first episode. It just came out like a month and a half ago.
Have you seen the new Frankenstein?
Yes,
I haven't.
it was
I
very
haven't.
enjoyable. I think you'll like it.
Okay, I've been saving it. I've been telling this girl we're gonna do a movie night. I've been saving it like for so long, but I'm like so tempted to just fucking watch it myself. But I love Guillermo del Toro. Like his like practical effects. That's what I really appreciate. Like what's the aquatic one with the little creature? What is it called? Like
Shape of Water.
Shape of Water. Like the suit and like everything. And I'm just excited to see it. And like excited to see like the grotesque looks and stuff like that. What did you like about that movie without giving any spoilers?
The Shape of Water?
Or no, the Frankenstein.
The Frankenstein movie? I like how Guillermo showed Dr. Frankenstein's upbringing.
Oh.
And in showing that, it was a departure from the other Frankenstein films where we don't get to see his abuse that he suffered, at his father's hands, and his father's expectations of him, as a scientist, as a rigorous scientist, and then you see him display that same toxicity later on in the movie. I'm not gonna say how, right? But that was an interesting new addition that I had never seen in the Frankenstein adaptations. That I think.
So like we get a backstory on the scientist.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Act 1. So that's not. I don't think that's giving away anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you'll really love it. I think you'll enjoy it.
Have you been to the movies recently? Have you seen any good movies recently?
I saw One Battle After Another, and I saw Anemone with Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh,
his comeback movie.
Wow,
Okay, so
Daniel Day-Lewis. Dang. Okay.
I think this year, the Best Actor category is going to be up for grabs between Daniel Day-Lewis, Russell Crowe in what's the name of his movie? Nuremberg, where he plays Hermann Goring.
Whoa! What? There's a Nuremberg movie?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah. Where he plays Hitler's right-hand man, right? And the third actor I think that it's going to be nominated is probably Sean Penn for Best Actor in One Battle After Another. I think he's going to be promoted from the Best Supporting category to the Best Actor category. And then the fourth actor I think might be, what's his name? I think Jacob Elordi might be nominated this year for Frankenstein.
Oh.
Yeah, I think so.
That is the Frankenstein, or that's the
Frankenstein monster.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jacob Elordi. What other movies has he done? I'm not familiar with him.
The very tall British actor who came out in Euphoria.
Okay.
Saltburn with Barry Keoghan.
Oh, he's a young guy.
Yeah.
Oh, the thick eyebrows.
Yes.
Yeah. He was in Saltburn. He was like the one that lived in the big house or whatever. Okay.
Yes. Or as I like to call The Talented Mr. Ripley, the remake, or Rebecca, the remake, or any other movie.
Oh, Rebecca.
That inspired Saltburn, Purple Noon. The Alain Delon movie, which is the adaptation of the story, which became Talented Mr. Ripley, or Purple Noon. But yeah, I think Barry Keoghan is an incredible actor today.
Yeah.
Jacob Elordi is super talented. I know that what's her name? Sydney Sweeney. She's in the headlines all the time, and she gets flack. But to be honest, I think she's a fantastic actress. I've never seen a false note, and she plays these really difficult scenes in the most sincere, intense, vulnerable ways, and she's super intelligent in the way that she portrays her characters. Like I've seen like have a lot of people throw hate at her, and they call her a bad actress. I'm like, oh, dude, like she's really good.
Yeah, she's a great actress.
Really good.
Just terrible politics.
I mean, I don't really know about her
Yeah.
politics, right? But I know that I see her acting like, whoa, dude, she's pretty good too.
Yeah.
You know, another actress, obviously Emma Stone. She's fantastic.
Oh, dude, Pretty Things, and
that was a very good movie.
I want to see Begonia.
I haven't seen it.
I want to see it so bad because it gives me that the Pretty Things vibe. It's like, you know, she's in like a precarious situation and like I don't know, like she just works so well, like being in like those weird situations because she's just she could do so well, and like I don't know, like Pretty Things was incredible. And Begonia is like I don't know, it's like an interesting cinematic thing I want to see. I don't know. We should go. Like both of us should go.
We should see Begonia.
I want to see that.
We should see Begonia, yeah. But I think there's just so many great actors. Like you get me into a conversation about acting, I just want to name my favorite actors. Like if you've probably seen a lot of their movies, or maybe you haven't. One of my favorite actors is Klaus Kinski. One of my favorite actors is Damian Alcázar. An old Mexican actor. He passed away a long time ago from the old golden age of Mexican cinema, Fernando Soler. If you've ever seen his movies, or maybe your parents might have seen them, check out his movies. Check out La Oveja Negra, the Black Sheep, with Pedro Infante. I'm sure you've heard of Pedro Infante, right? Like
maybe
he's like the most like iconic Mexican actor other than Cantinflas.
Okay, yeah, right? Probably have, yeah.
You know, he was a very physical actor. He was kind of like the Tom Cruise of actors in like the Mexican, or like he was like the darling, right?
Yeah.
Joaquin Pardavé, obviously Marlon Brando, Jack Nicholson, De Niro, Pacino, Dustin Hoffman, Philip Seymour Hoffman, and I think one of the most underrated actors of all time. Who do you think I'm gonna name? Underrated actors. Underrated. He's a very popular actor. Very popular. He's like the most popular actor.
But underrated?
But underrated.
I don't know. Tell me.
Tom Cruise has become one of my favorite actors in the last 10 years after rewatching his entire filmography. Right? I think that he's just incredible. I think he has it all. Like he has the charisma. He can be like a physical actor. So like obviously all the stunts he does.
Yeah, Mission Impossibles. Yeah.
Romance, crime thriller, spy.
Jerry Maguire,
romance. Right. You had me at hello. You had me at fuck you. No, okay. Yeah. Like once you get me, James Cagney is one of my favorite actors. What's his name? Henry Fonda, Clint Eastwood. I think Clint Eastwood's, in my opinion, he's another actor that got even better as he got older.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's not. I don't want to like harp on anybody or like criticize anybody, right? Because who am I? I'm also an amateur, learning actor. But
you can have an opinion.
But exactly.
You can have an opinion.
I think everybody has an opinion on everything, or an opinion on their favorite artists. Like you have opinions on your favorite bands.
Yeah.
I don't really like that song. I don't really,
Yeah, you don't have to be an incredible actor to have an opinion on someone else. Most critics have never done the art. They're criticizing, just like if you're eating a meal at a restaurant, you don't have to be a cook to know what you like. You know what I mean? You don't have to be a chef to be like, oh, this tastes like shit. Or, I don't like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But just tell me, bro. What do you think?
I think that Denzel Washington is one of the greatest. Joe, just naming them randomly. Joe Pesci. I think Robin Williams in Mrs. Doubtfire gives one of the greatest performances in all of movies. And I think that performance should have won the Academy Award because he makes you cry. He makes you feel for him while playing also another person. You see, because like the Oscars do these like the checklist is always like, oh, is he playing somebody that's different from himself, right? Is like the actors that are competing. Oh, he put on makeup. He put on all these weight.
Put on weight.
Right.
Lost weight. Yeah.
Lost weight. Oh, he looks different. Oh, like he's doing an accent. Oh, he's playing a different person, right? That's like the litmus test. Oh, he's how good of an actor are you, right? And that movie does that, and then some. He makes you laugh, and then he makes you cry for him and his plight. That he gets his children taken away because of the custody battle that he has with his wife. Like, it's a legit like custody battle movie, not just a comedy, but it becomes a comedy as well, and it like in a realistic way, you know. It functions as an entertainment, but it also functions it checks all the boxes for Oscar category, and he should have won the Academy Award in that movie for Best Actor. I think it's hands down one of the greatest performances ever. Charlie Chaplin. Buster Keaton. If you want to say Charlie Chaplin is the greatest actor of all time, he probably is, because he did
all his stunts himself.
All of his stunts, and he did it in the silent era where he, didn't really have an ability to communicate with words what he was feeling. So he had to do it with his face only. I think Montgomery Clift is one of the greatest actors ever. Charles Bronson. I love Charles Bronson's work. I think that Sam Neill is super underrated. He could have been James Bond. I think Pierce Brosnan is an underrated actor. Daniel Craig's work is amazing. If you've seen him in Road to Perdition with Tom Hanks, he kills one of Tom Hanks' family members. He plays a vicious son of a bitch in that movie. Check that one out.
Who's the guy that does Rain Man?
Dustin Hoffman.
That's Dustin Hoffman.
Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is his brother, and he has to learn to be more empathetic and tolerant of his brother's condition. He has autism, but he also has like a social disability, right? And Tom Cruise's character is not like respectful or like tolerant of that. He has no interest in getting to know his brother. He just wants to make money off of his brother, because his brother is getting an inheritance that he's not getting, right? So he's just trying to like fight the mental institution for the custody, not for the custody of his brother, but he basically kidnaps his brother and tells the mental institution, hey, you guys are holding the money of my father's inheritance that I should have gotten, but my brother got it instead. So when you guys give me the $3 million, I'll return them to the mental institution. That's crazy. Yeah. I love Mickey Rourke. Nobody talks about Mickey Rourke anymore. Sin City, The Wrestler, Angel Heart with Robert De Niro. And he gets flack, and he has gone into a lot of dramas. Tom Sizemore was a very underrated actor in my opinion. Val Kilmer is one of the greats. You
went to what did you go to? You went to like one of Val Kilmer's things, didn't you?
No, not that I can remember.
I swear you went to like some event. I don't know.
A Citizen Twain? No. I didn't. But I wish I could have before he passed away. But Val Kilmer, again, he made you laugh. He made you hate his characters. He made you believe he was Doc Holliday. He made you believe he was Jim Morrison.
Dude. Incredible role. Just that one alone?
Yeah.
No one else could have done Jim Morrison but him. That was insane.
Yeah.
What about Daniel Day-Lewis?
I think he's one of the greatest actors that ever lived. And in rewatching and watching Anemone, there's two monologues that he does in that movie, and in the first monologue that he did, I was realizing that I was in the presence of somebody that has this very unique ability to express a human moment with like a unique amount of detail that you don't see in a lot of other great actors. That's just my opinion, right? But like those close-ups that you see in There Will Be Blood. You've seen There Will Be Blood, right?
Oh yeah.
Like the first thing that that first close-up of him when he's talking to potential customers and he's trying to sell his oil business to them, right? You see the way he lifts his eyebrows, you know, when he's talking to them. He's like, you know, and all these little micro. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to manage and communicate that to the lens, right? And he knows that those little millimeters of like an eyebrow movement, they mean a million words, you know. And then when I saw him again in Anemone, I'm like, he's still got it, and he's even more brilliant. How do you surpass something like There Will Be Blood, right? But that character in Anemone, those little moments, I'm like, he might win again. He might win the fourth one this year. He's just the shit. If you've seen him in a movie people don't talk about with Daniel Day-Lewis, is Stars and Bars. It is a comedy where he works for an art gallery in New York, and they want to get a hold of this like $1 million old war painting that's in the South, owned by Harry Dean Stanton. And he lives like in like the most redneck, you know, buck country, you know, kind of like what is it? Back of the woods, like city, but he's the owner of this like $1 million plus painting, and Daniel Day-Lewis has to go and convince him and retrieve it from him. And it's a comedy where Daniel Day-Lewis basically plays like this kind of like blubbering idiot, kind of like Joaquin Phoenix in Inherent Vice. Right, but he's like very like uptight and like very proper and like very well behaved, but he gets put into these situations where, you know, he's made to look ridiculous, you know, or his patience is tested. And we never really saw it with Daniel Day-Lewis. We never really saw like comedy movies, and I want to see more comedy movies from Daniel Day-Lewis, and I'm pretty sure he would do well at them. Yeah, you know, 'cause he's so brilliant, you know. Gary Oldman. What is there to say about Gary Oldman that hasn't already been said? You know, Leon the Professional, Dracula, JFK when he plays Oswald. He came out in Oppenheimer for like 5 seconds as the president of the United States.
That's right.
You know, I mean, there's just so many great actors. Humphrey Bogart is one of my favorite actors. Spencer Tracy, Bad Day at Black Rock. You know, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Sidney Poitier. Another one of the most underrated actors of all time is Rod Steiger, who acts with Marlon Brando in On the Waterfront as his brother, and then he plays a racist cop in The Heat of the Night with what's his name? He looks like Israel Adesanya. Sidney Poitier, who came out in Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. African American actor. He won the Oscar for In the Heat of the Night. Oh, wow. Rod Steiger, if I'm not mistaken. But he plays a racist cop who has to overcome his racism and, you know, like live with his black associate or his colleague. I think the black associate played by Sidney Poitier, he's like a super smart detective. And so Rod Steiger's racist character has to kind of like, you know, humble himself and like, dude, like, chill out, dude. There are people that are smarter than you, and, you know, you should listen and shut up, you know. But I can go on about actors and acting, and like, you know, I'm obsessed with it, and I've seen all these like, you know, obscure movies, and I'm sure you've can go on about like music forever, and you've heard these obscure bootlegs.
What's like your favorite obscure film that probably no one you think has ever seen?
Obscure movie that no one has ever seen. I usually watch the very popular ones.
Okay, so what are your favorites of those?
Well, I think that at any given moment, if I want to watch Goodfellas, I'm gonna pop it on. If I want to watch Casino, I'm gonna pop it on. You know, okay.
I think, is it obscure? I don't know. I would say Begotten is, if you can look it up on your phone, Begotten.
I've never heard of that one.
You've probably seen images from it. Stuff by the Quays brothers. The brothers Quay. You'll just look up Begotten and you'll see something that you recognize.
What the hell is this?
You've seen that.
Okay, yeah, this is the obscure shit I'm talking about. What about Alejandro Jodorowsky?
Oh, you mean El Topo?
Yeah.
And the Holy Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually never finished El Topo. I've seen the Holy Mountain one time. It was like 8 years ago. So, and then he wanted to do Dune, his version of Dune.
Have you seen the documentary for that?
I've seen pieces of it. You need to tell me more about that.
So good.
He
wanted Salvador Dali as the emperor. And Salvador Dali was like, I'll do it if I can have an aardvark and a fucking giraffe. And he's like, Alejandro's like, you got it. I'll give you whatever you want. And then he ran out of the budget. He's like, yeah.
Isn't that what stopped the production of that movie?
I think so. Like, he ran out of money and people stopped wanting to give him money because it was too ambitious, But like, that's what we need. We need, like, if Dune is done right, it needs to be like that. But back then it was there was no like there was no foresight that like it would be worth it to do it, But that documentary is badass.
I need to check it out.
It's so good because it's like, what could have been? It's like, because he had the guys from Alien who were doing the designs, and like Giger.
H.R. Giger, right?
H.R. Giger he designed the Harkonnen planet.
Oh, okay, from Dune.
Yeah. So Alejandro Jodorowsky had hired H.R. Giger to design the Harkonnen world, and H.R. Geiger made it like Alien-esque, right? His style. But then when the whole project fell apart, Geiger took all those ideas to Alien.
Oh, okay.
So that's how we got Alien.
Oh.
The classic Alien look. That was work that was already being done with Dune with Jodorowsky.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And Jodorowsky also hired a comic book illustrator to do the storyboarding.
Oh, for them.
Just storyboarding. Not even
That's
like
a smart thing.
Yeah, because Jodorowsky wanted shots that looked like a comic book. He wanted those like, you know what I mean? So, and then when the project fell apart, the comic book writer took all those ideas and created like a new series.
Oh, okay.
So like, because of that project from Jodorowsky, it created multiple projects. Like the Alien, and then like the guy went and did more comic books and stuff.
2001, which influenced Star Wars, which influenced the Terminator.
Really,
right?
the Terminator influenced?
Course,
wow.
Artificial intelligence, the machine that his only mission is to kill. Right? It's a piece of technology that is going to destroy its creators.
What do you think about AI now?
I think of AI. I think it's a tool just like anything else. And
you think it's gonna like come after us or try and like the Terminator, like it's gonna, because we also are building these robots. Like Tesla has a robot. There's like this multiple other companies that have like robots to be your servant, right? But
I don't know enough about AI to give an intelligent answer. But the way that I see it is that I think that we have this misconception of it's getting better, it's getting better, it's getting better, it's getting better. And yes, it is getting better at like these like certain things. But how do I explain it? It's like replicating a human brain compared to the AI models that we have now. Even if you take those AI models to their like logical extreme, I don't think they'll ever replicate what the human brain does, because it's not a matter of getting better at emulating humans and then one day equaling the humans. It's that it's an apple and an orange. They're different. These are two things that will never meet. The two lines, like the logic behind the fundamental like fabric of one thing is completely different than this thing. It's made out of something completely different. It does something different. And yes, it can emulate like all these tasks and all these things that this thing does here. But no matter how much better it gets at doing that thing, it will never become this thing. Not because it can't. Not because I'm such a humanist and I'm like, oh, I believe humans are better than AI. It's that I think they're just two fundamentally different things. Because I think the human mind and human consciousness is a different thing. I don't know how to explain it.
No, I think you're exactly right about that. I think AI is trying to get as close to being human as possible, but it misses the one important thing is the consciousness, right?
It's not conscious.
Yeah, exactly. And that's but at the same time, just because it's not conscious doesn't mean it can't accomplish things that humans can't do.
Exactly.
And if we give it enough power and freedom, it might take the wheel into a certain direction that we don't want. It's because AI's goal is to want to be like us, right? So it's going to want to inhabit power. It's going to want to inhabit control. It's going to want to inhabit a body. It's going to want to feel like it has a purpose and meaning and stuff, because that's what humans do.
It's that it wants to self-perpetuate. It wants to, spread its, name and its likeness everywhere, the way humans spread their seed everywhere. But I just don't know enough about the topic, in like minute detail to really even give you anything to play with. That's all I think that from what I see, I think that they're just two different things. It's like this thing that's occurring in a separate universe, right? And this thing is trying to emulate that thing, but they will never coincide in the same thing. And there will be an illusion that they accomplish the same thing, right, in certain contexts, but like this like whole idea of like self-preservation still doesn't exist in AI.
It does. There is recently a story about I think it was a developer or a programmer who's working on AI that was testing the AI and threatened it to shut it down, right? So what the AI did was found the developer's wife, contacted the wife and tried to blackmail him, so he wouldn't shut him off. So there is a preservation that the AI has, and that's what's scary.
Well, of course, but it wasn't. It wasn't. I mean, I don't know. You could fill me in a bit more on the story, right? But if you compare that type of self-preservation to the human self-preservation, the human can just go up to the machine and just like turn it off like that, whereas the machine can't do that to the human. No matter how like instructed or programmed it is, at least now, right? We don't know about the future, right? It doesn't stand a chance against a human being. At least now, right?
Yeah. It's just scary now that we have like these physical robots that the AI is embedded in, that and I think it's going to go as far as these robots becoming like an army, like for warfare. Like they're gonna be like, hey, you know what? Like we don't have to send people anymore to go die for wars. We're just gonna send a bunch of robots. And what if those robots don't want to fight? What if they turn on us and they're, they're robots. They don't bleed. They don't feel pain, and they're equipped with weapons and knowledge. And
don't have time to bleed.
Yeah, like the Terminator, So it's like we might be getting closer to that, and it's a little scary. So like anytime I see advancement in AI, I'm like, oh no, dude, we're just getting closer to the Terminator, dude. We're gonna fucking die. Or there's the other option, which is the singularity. I don't know if you've heard of that theory.
I've heard of that theory. Yes, the singularity theory.
It's when humans basically hybridize with technology, and it'll like prolong our lifespan, but who knows what the future of that is? Like if humans don't die, like
downloading our data onto a database.
Yeah.
Our downloading our consciousness into a database.
Mm-hmm. I think aliens do that. I think aliens already do that. Like with the gray aliens, they're kind of like the worker aliens that come down to Earth and do the dirty work, and they're controlled by like a universal consciousness. But yeah, the AI thing is a little scary to me. Like I think about it a little too much, just because of like, I don't know, all the fucking movies and stuff that humans have already come up with, all the ideas we've already foreseen, but yeah, I don't know. I just hope I'm gone, dead and gone by the time any of that shit happens, dude.
That they don't get us in the ass
while
we're alive.
And that's why I don't want to have kids either. I'm like, I would be so worried for my kids.
The world they're gonna have to inhabit.
Exactly. Like, just even if AI doesn't take over, just like the cost of living and like the planet and like the pollution, and I don't know. It's just it's too much of a gamble.
There's jobs that are being replaced because of AI.
Mm-hmm.
And in my field as well, in acting,
what
voice acting, and I'm sure at some point, they've already been using CGI for 20 years, to replace actors, and that's gone way better. My bad. It'll probably get to a certain point where the actor doesn't even, and I think we've already gone to that point. The actor doesn't even need to appear in the movie. His likeness just needs to be on screen.
Yeah.
And then the technology is so good now to the point where it could say something and you would believe that it was said by that certain person. And oh wow, Bruce Willis nominated for an Oscar, right? And then you're like, he was never in the movie, And it's the AI.
We have that in music already. We have a lot of AI artists that are like breaking charts, and it's scary and sad because it's coming in my field too. Like I'm trying to make it as a musician and artist, and like my competition is AI. Like fuck, like they can write albums, like multiple albums a day, and they're incredible. But man, it's scary because also the consumer is where the rubber meets the road. And if the consumer is okay with AI actors and AI voiceovers and AI music, we're fucked, because that's really what matters. That's the bottom line, is the dollar and who's buying and who's...
Yes, and not just that, but also the owners of these corporations. They're like, okay, well, we don't want to pay this person anymore, and we can just use AI when they already are using AI.
Yep.
And that's restructuring and reshaping the industry as we speak, and it will further reshape it in the future in ways that we need to prepare for, I think, and things in ways that it will benefit the community, filmmaking community, but in ways that it will maybe, cut out some jobs.
I think with like a lot of the legacy, this isn't even a thing, I guess, the legacy actors, like let's say Tom Cruise, for instance. I think maybe in the future when he's looking to retire and AI is like getting really, really great, he might license his likeness to AI so he can be in movies without having to do the work. So I only say that because it's happening in music. And it's happening with ABBA. Have you heard of ABBA? They do Dancing Queen, all that. They're doing hologram concerts. And you know who recently signed their likeness? Kiss. Kiss signed their likeness to like this AI company to do hologram concerts. So it's in the works already for music, and I can only imagine for
acting,
because they're paying, like, for instance, Tom Cruise, they pay him like tens of millions of dollars per movie, right? So he could probably sell his likeness for 1 million. And
for a certain project, right?
Yeah, for one movie he can sell his likeness for $1 million and not have to step on stage on set at all.
No,
you know. So,
and then box office, he makes money in the box office too.
Exactly, get some royalties and stuff. So it's the fucking the evil prophet, man.
Yeah. You know, I was recently rewatching one of my favorite actors of all time and his work, Nick Nolte. And, you know, I always remember him as a 40 to 50-year-old. You know, his work in Cape Fear is great. His work in Affliction is amazing. Check that out if you haven't already checked out Affliction. Came out the same year Fight Club came out, I think, in 99. His work in 48 Hours with... yeah, you'll love 48 Hours. His work in this movie called Lorenzo's Oil. I think you'll love that movie. His son is dying in that film, so he needs to find the right oil for him to survive, if I'm not mistaken. This other movie that he did called The Prince of Tides, where he is going through a divorce and comes from a fucked up southern upbringing, and he tries to hide all that as if it never happened, but it resurfaces. You spoke of Barbara Streisand through these therapy sessions with her, and all that shit finally after like 30 years like comes out, like, of his fucked up, you know, upbringing as a child. You know, Nick. The reason why I bring up Nick Nolte is because these are the great actors that maybe we won't ever see anymore because of AI. You know. And I was recently rewatching his movies. That was another great actor that I wanted to mention. Nick Nolte's another one of those masters. Like, there's a lot of good actors and great actors today. And then I'm like, okay, well, what about Nick Nolte? Okay, what about Sean Penn? You know? And like, but maybe it's not fair to compare them because they already have a legacy, right? But I'm like, well, what about Nick Nolte when he was 21? Okay, you're not Nick Nolte when he was 21. You're not Tom Cruise when he was 21.
Yeah.
You're not DiCaprio when he was, 19 or
16. Yeah.
Or when he was a little kid, you know, in What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. That's like, he was already giving an Oscar level performance as a child. Come on.
Yeah.
You know. I think Johnny Depp is a fantastic actor.
There you go, yeah.
Johnny Depp. There are so many actors that I just, I watch one film and then like I watch like 50 these other movies. Like he came out with one little scene. I'm like, just because he came out in that one little scene, I want to watch the whole movie. Dude, here's another one. I think everybody knows he's great, but I think the greatest living actor today is Javier Bardem. And
dude, you know what? He's really underrated.
The greatest living actor today.
No Country for Old Men? Is that who you're talking about?
Of course. No Country for Old Men. Have you seen Goya's Ghosts? Check it out. Check out this movie he did in Spain called Jamón Jamón. Yeah. Ham. It's just sexy, like,
okay.
Kind of, what's a sleazy movie? But it's good with Penelope. That was the first time that he ever met Penelope Cruz. Check out this movie called Huevos de Oro. Golden Balls. Yeah,
he's in that movie.
He's the lead actor of that movie. He like is a rags to riches story, but it's also like a humbling kind of movie where, like, he starts off cocky at the beginning and then, he kind of, learns through like his success, what his flaws are, and there's like a downfall. But I'm not gonna give it any more away. Javier Bardem is the fucking master of acting. It doesn't matter if he has a Spanish accent in every movie. He is ridiculously interesting and endlessly complex. He gives you all these colors, and like he can be militant, he can be feminine. Right? Did you see Skyfall, where he plays?
Is that the James Bond one?
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
I haven't seen that.
Well, he's just because you're gay, it doesn't mean that you're feminine. But he plays this gay, like feminine, villain in that movie. And he's played gay in other movies before. Check him out in Before Night Falls. That movie was made, I think in 2001. Johnny Depp comes out in that movie. I think Sean Penn had something to do with that movie. I forgot how, but he's one of my favorite actors, Javier Bardem. And just wow, what a fuck! He's just brilliant.
Okay, for your sign off, your last word, what would you like to say? Maybe about the projects you're doing, or something about the future, or some advice for people. What's your last thing you'd like to say?
Advice for myself. Okay, because I'm still trying to learn this. I need to keep my promises. Okay, and by extension, if anybody, if anyone's going through that as well, I think everybody's going through that. Try to keep your promises. Stay disciplined. Love. It sounds corny, but like I grew up, like a lot of people being bullied and like that, like maybe harbor a lot of hate, and self-loathing. And it's just too much energy, man, to expend. And you can see yourself become older and slower. So love, because it feels good, and it doesn't take that much effort. Hating is just so violent, I think that's the best that I could come up with to close this amazing first episode with Eric Echo, because he got these questions out of me.
Well, dude, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, dude.
I'll have you on again for sure. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Nabil Leal signing off.
Appreciate you guys.